On today's special episode of Homeworthy, we're stepping inside the dazzling homes of jewelry designers. First, we visit Nicola Bathie McLaughlin's elegant San Antonio home, where traditional family heirlooms, whimsical florals, and feminine touches create a storybook charm. Next, Matthew Harris welcomes us into his modern, gut-renovated home, a bold yet sophisticated space where sleek lines, vibrant hues, and captivating artwork take center stage. Then, we escape to West Hollywood to explore Amanda Thomas's serene bungalow, a tranquil retreat nestled beneath a lush canopy of trees. And finally, we step into the eclectic world of Maya Brenner, whose thoughtfully renovated home seamlessly blends European elegance with vintage charm. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Scan the QR code to subscribe to our new channel, Wedding Worthy, where we celebrate amazing couples and the love stories behind their perfect day.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Nicola. Welcome to my home in Texas. Come on in, it's hot outside.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Nicola McLaughlin, and we are in my home in San Antonio, Texas. I am an interior designer and a jewelry designer, primarily jewelry design. I graduated from TCU with an interior design degree, and when I had babies and life took over, I just focused on jewelry design. So that's where we are today. I'm working on a new house that we are going to live in and doing interior design there, but no clients for the time being. I was born in South Africa. My parents are from England and went to university in South Africa and met there. And so that's how that took place, and my English background. And so we still have some family in England, and I love being there. I love English style, the hodgepodge of it, and just how refined it is and curated. And so that has a big impact on my interior design and the way I like my home, and it feels nostalgic to my grandparents' home. And so I have been heavily influenced by English interiors. The house we live in right now is a traditional split level home. It feels like a tree house. There's trees surrounding it. It's so cozy, and we love it. I was living in Dallas when I first saw it. I saw it on the internet. I had the flu and I was quarantining in a hotel room. And I sent my mom and my fiance, husband to be, it was about 10 years ago, to come and look at it. And they sent videos, and I loved it. It had great bones. It was old, and it just felt right. And so we got it before we got married, and then I redid a little bit of it, and we moved in after we were married. And so the timing was perfect, but it was not the first home we looked at. We did see a couple more, but it was just the only one I looked at from afar. So this house has that British interior influence in it. It's a little hodgepodge, which helps hide a lot of the children's stuff. We have baskets throughout the house that we keep their toys in. There's a playroom downstairs that all of like their big toys are in, but it's really making the room a little bit unattractive for children. So this isn't a room they want to play in. And I think that is the secret to keeping a house looking clean-ish with children. We also have a no markers rule, that the markers have to stay in the kitchen. There's no markers allowed throughout the rest of the house, and everything's washable, but it is just all stuff at the end of the day. So I'm not super crazy about it, but we've been pretty lucky with the two girls. We have a little boy who's our youngest, and he is into everything. Wants to open every coffee table book, pull it off, throw it off the table. The girls never touched anything. So we'll see how that goes. He's about to start walking if we keep everything clean. Welcome to our foyer. It's the entryway of our house. It's a small space, but we made the most out of it. I have some special pieces that you see right when you walk in the front door. This was one of the first pieces I bought when I lived in Dallas. It's a jade lamp, and I love how it's so interesting, and I love the colors in it, and I love that it's jade, which we use a lot of jade in jewelry design. This is my first Louis Philippe mirror I purchased, and it fit perfectly here. It's beautiful, warm color Biedermeier chest, and then pictures of 2 of our 3 children. I need to add one of the baby. And to our left is a butterfly installation by Claire Crow. I just loved the way this wrapped around the wall. She did it remotely before being remote was an option. She did it, I want to say, in 2018, and she put a big piece of vellum that came in the shipment, and it had the marks where all of the butterflies were installed. So I loved that about it. It was a remote job, but it's a beautiful piece, and it's just a happy welcome of butterflies. When we bought this home, there was a little bit of remodeling to do. We didn't move any walls, but we did repaint and redo all the bathrooms. We tiled the kitchen from floor to ceiling, and it didn't all happen right at once. We have slowly but surely added on along the way. We added the room we're sitting in now when I had my second daughter. So it was a couple years ago, and this was always the plan, to push the house out and add a room so we could have a little bit of extra bedroom space for the growing family. There were some details added, like the archways. We added all the cutouts in them. We made some archways round, and that is about it. But we did definitely change all light fixtures, we wallpapered some rooms. So it was a journey. We did it over time, but it was good. Okay, now I'm gonna take you into our formal living room, which is another area the kids don't really love to be in. There's not a lot for them in here. But this whole room was designed around the Decor panels. I always wanted 2 big panels on either side of the mantle, and we have more contemporary piece of art in between them, which I think is a fun juxtaposition between the 2. It's a nice balance. This coffee table is a collaboration with Oyster Street Studios. It's actually the Nicola coffee table, and so the little scallops on there match the archways in this room, which is a fun little interesting piece. My office did these flowers, which is incredible. I wish I could do anything like this. They just do an exceptional job. I also have a porcelain flower piece. It's an Aaron Lauder piece, and just all my favorite coffee table books. So this beautiful one is called Art Life, and they're all my favorites, all of my inspiration pieces, and they're stacked in a certain way, and I want it to look a certain way. So I'm gonna show you one of my first big buys, pieces of furniture. This is a Biedermeier chest from the 1800s. It has traveled with me from Dallas, and it is one of my most prized possessions. It's beautiful, and I feel like it was one of these pieces that I bought well before I knew what my style was. I just loved it. I love the legs. I love the black on it, and so it's a really pretty piece in our house, and it's special because I bought it for myself before I was married, and it was like my first big buy. This is a beautiful vase that I actually won in an auction, and it's going to be the centerpiece of our entryway when we in our new house when we move, and it just has a mommy with a little baby, and I just thought that was so pretty with the flowers on it. It has trellis. This is a really pretty piece by Alexis Walter, and she's out of New Orleans. I think it's just very calm, and it's just something very interesting to look at, and I love the way it all ties together. But that is just, it was in auction, and I guess no one else wanted it, and so I got it for a deal. This is my ultimate favorite scent ever, and it is so funny. It's Jo Malone. It's the lime basil and mandarin. We first rented a house in London when I first smelt it, and I love it. It reminds me of that. And then a few years later, we rented another house in London. They also had this candle, same scent. Then we rented a house in France, same candle, same scent. And so I am literally like, this candle is our way. It's always a little wink. And so we have it all over our house, and I cannot change my favorite scent. We have 2 antique sheep over here, and I love them. And I won one of them in auction, and I bought another one. But the older the better. And so this was our first one. And my office had named it Winston, and now we can't let it go. And then we have a baby one, which you can maybe see, it's a little bit smaller, but I got it for my husband for his birthday. And he opened it, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. He was like, "What is this? I don't understand this gift." And my kids thought it was hilarious, and we took all these funny pictures. But that's Churchill, the baby. And I love them, and they're going to be in our study in our new house. And I love sheep, so that's our little fun quirk in here. So the plates in this room is an interesting approach. It was more lack of storage for all of these tablescape pieces that I was collecting, and I was like, should I put them on the wall? It was COVID, and so I started hanging them up, and I really like them on the wall, and instead of just being in storage. And so we have, throughout the rooms in these few public areas, we have a lot of plates on the wall, and really it's just lack of storage. So this rug I had gotten, this was always here, and so I've had it for about 10 years, and it's really held up well, but it is more contemporary, and so it really worked with the house when my style was a little bit more transitional. It was a nice blend, but I think it has blended so beautifully, and it has really become this pattern on pattern with the pillows and all of the fabrics in here. And so I've loved how it turned out, and I didn't want to change it. And it's been through a lot, but it's held up super well. So I love this rug. So this house started as a transitional house. We had a lot of modern furniture I brought from Dallas that I had before we were married, and just had collected through college and after college. And so it started more transitional. It was traditional pieces with a few modern pieces, more cleaner colors. And over time, I've introduced some more saturated colors, and gotten more traditional pieces and kind of taken out the transitional element of it. So I would say the overall style of the house now is more traditional. So I am a girly girl, so I do tend to lead a little girly in my interiors. Luckily, my husband has 2 daughters and me, so he is game for any design decisions I make. Everything I do put in, though, is pretty much sentimental. It always has a meaning behind it. It's something that I love, and it just either touched me in some way, reminds me of something, or has some sentimental value that's been passed down from my grandparents or my parents. So, okay, welcome to the dining room. So this is a little in-between summer, fall tablescape. We're not totally fall yet, but I have my grandparents in town, so it worked out perfectly for setup for the tour. This room has changed a little bit since we moved in, but the chairs and the rug have always stayed the same. We have 2 big storage units in here, if you will. That sideboard and a chest over here that I keep all of my plates and tableware inside of. So it is hidden, but as you see, it's not a ton of space. So that is why you see a lot of plates on the wall. These plates are by Royal Copenhagen, and I loved the way they worked with the brackets that I have these porcelain flowers on by Vladimir collection. These are all my favorite flowers: garden roses, lily of the valley, and anemones. I have some pieces that were wedding gifts that are on display, and I love how it creates a very me environment in this space. I have a little bit more of my fancier pieces in here that I don't use as often. So I have my wedding china, teacups that match my wedding china, and some pieces of silver. And then over here is the rest of my wedding china, which is Queen Victoria heron pieces. So this is what is inside the sideboard. So as you see, it's not super organized, but I do my best. We have taken the keys out because the kids take the keys and lose them. So a fun piece that has a little story behind it. I have this chinoiserie plates by Miss Alice. I got a whole collection of them for, these are just the salad plates, but I got this whole collection for my 30th birthday. I asked my husband to do a tablescape for me, and he said, you have to give me some direction. And so I said, you can go off that. He had a lot of help, but I did get this for my 30th birthday. So that was a really pretty table and something I could take home. So I used to collect teapots, and then that turned into teacups. I love tea. My parents love to have their afternoon tea, and so I do too. I don't always get it and have time to sit anymore these days, but I did collect a lot of teapots and teacups throughout the years, and I have some of my favorite ones on display on the other side of the room. But my girls now like to have tea parties, and they are very careful, but they do grab what they can take. So I keep most of them behind closed doors now. I love to set a table, and I love having people over. It is something that we don't do all the time, but my family does do it a lot. My mom is wonderful at helping me hand wash all the dishes, and so she's always welcome to come. But when I'm setting a table, I like to keep the florals as low as possible, unless it's truly for some sort of tablescape shoot where it's drama, and then, you know, we make it high. But and then just kind of having a theme. And so these plates just had all the pretty colors in them for this time of the year. You know, it's still 90 in Texas, sometimes 100. So it doesn't feel quite fall yet. And like our florist doesn't have a ton of fall colors. And so it's just a happy and cheery color combination. Our table really only fits 6. We can squeeze 8, but that's perfect for us. New house will have a bigger table. So I don't know what I'll do with all my 6 and 8 piece sets that I have. So this chandelier is by Visual Comfort. It is so much fun. I bought another one for our next house. That's how much I love it. And during Christmas, I wrap it with Fraser fir and garland, and I put ribbon on it, velvet ribbon, and it's so fun to decorate. And it looks good undecorated, obviously, but I also decorate it for my kids' party. I'll put pink bows on it for the girls. We normally do birthday cake in here and candles, and I decorate this room too with like balloons and presents, so when they come out in the morning, they see it. So it's fun. It can be serious and it can be fun. So my professional journey started when I was in college. I was studying interior design, and I was making jewelry on the side. It just kind of came about. I had a lot of studio classes Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 8 a.m.s, which none of my friends had that. And I couldn't go out the night before and then go to class. So I was like, I need something to do to fill my time. And so I was making necklaces, and they were very simplistic, but you know, just here and there. And then people would come by my dorm room, or when I lived in the sorority house, they would come by and they'd be like, can I have a necklace to go out tonight? And I'd make it really fast and give it to them. They'd go out, and then word traveled. And so I kept doing it. It was easy to do when I was in school. And then every summer I would get an internship with a designer throughout college and high school. And so I was really always doing both interior and jewelry design. When I graduated from college, I moved to Dallas from Fort Worth and worked for an interior designer there, and also did jewelry before 9 a.m. when I would go to work, and then I would do it in the evenings after 5. I had a long distance relationship with my now husband, who lived in San Antonio, and so it was the same thing, you know, I was just filling a void of time. And then when I moved to San Antonio, I opened a design firm, still doing jewelry, and worked for a couple years. When I had my babies, after the first was born, I realized that like something had to give. There just wasn't enough time in the day. And so I stopped doing interior design and just kept on with the jewelry design, which allows for more flexible hours. And then the whole influencer kind of developed by itself. My social media platforms were just growing from pretty unprofessional photos that just, you know, were snaps. And so that's kind of led us where we are today. One day I'll do interior design again when my kids are a bit older and don't need me as much present as at home. But for now, that's kind of how I'm balancing everything. So this is more of our informal living room. This is where football games are watched, TV series are watched, where my husband and I kind of decompress at night. This is a room we added on. There used to be double doors in this transition way, and this was a patio, and so we just built on top of the patio. But it's the perfect amount of space. It's just a nice getaway for after dinner drinks, and I love how cozy it is. I love the library feel of the study. It's formal enough to be off of the dining room, but it's not a super formal room. This is a room that our kids do watch a lot of TV in. They love to lay on the couch and watch TV. So one of my favorite pieces in this room is this super old vanity. We use it as a jewelry display, but it has beautiful silk inside. It opens up and the jewelry just looks so beautiful in there. It's such a pretty piece, I couldn't leave it in storage. So I brought it here. It's a safe place. It's wiggly, wobbly table, but not a high traffic area. So I love this piece here, and I love the way it plays well with the more modern art and flowers on top of it. Our bookshelves are busy, but they're fun, and every piece is special. My parents collect these clocks, and I found some along the way in auctions or in antique stores, and Cartier makes them, and Tiffany's, and so they're fun little mementos to pick up. They're really old. I'll get them working when we move to the next house. This is one of my grandfather's sewing boxes. It's an antique box, and it's just so pretty. So I like to have my really special pieces on top under the light. The room, when I was designing it, I had drawn the room and what I wanted it to look like. And so the lights were always part of the plan. They were from the very beginning. So I wanted to feel this beautiful sense of a library, not a super formal library, but I love rooms that are lit by lighting that isn't recessed or bright. And so it's more feels a little bit more intimate and just creates such a mood and a good environment in the room. So love sconce lighting, love library lights, art lights. I love that feel. This is a really, really pretty piece of art that's so interesting. It's mixed media in the sense it's pressed flowers, there's cut velvet, there are sequins, it's watercolored, but it's a really pretty piece. These lampshades are Sister Parish, and I custom made them for the room out of their fabric, and it just adds a little special extra touch. Again, these antique boxes I pick them up on trips. They always have them anywhere in England. They're English boxes. This box is a old writing box, and so when you open it, it creates a table, and it has just a leather writing pad. This is a place where they used to have the ink, and so it's a really pretty box. And all these boxes are a nice place to put remotes or things that you want hidden that aren't as pretty. Sometimes they're tea caddies and different special things. And then I'm going to show you one piece of art that's special. Again, a high placed under the light piece. This piece of art is something one of the first pieces I gave my husband. We like to give art as gifts. And when he opened it, he knew exactly what it was. It's called Fields Over England, and it truly is, it's what it looks like when you're flying into England. And so it gives me that special feeling of like, we're here, when you're about to land somewhere, especially over an overseas trip. So I really love this piece, and I love that my husband knew what it was before he knew the title of it. I'm very inspired by florals, and I mean, in every room there's some sort of floral theme and just fabric that I love, that I take, bits and pieces from and continue the rest of the room out to have that theme. So I would definitely say florals. Like I'm a flower girl, and you'll see when we do the tour, they're all through the house. My favorite thing about this home is probably that I brought all my children home here from the hospital, all 3 of them. So it's just a very special place. But my favorite room in the house is probably the one we're sitting in. It's kind of contrary to what I just said. It's kind of our child-free area. So it's a great place for my husband and I to watch TV at night, to hang out. Like I'll take a lot of calls from here. It's a little bit more separated from all the noise of the house. And I love the light in here. It's just a bright room, happy room. We have lots of yellows and greens, so love this room. So I will show you my daughter's room because it is one of my favorite rooms I've ever done. It is just such a sense of peace in here and calmness, and I love when I have to sleep with them in the middle of the night because I love being in here. But this was actually my oldest daughter's room, and when we had our 3rd child, we luckily had twin beds in here, so it worked out. And so now both girls share the room. A lot of chit-chatting, a lot of giggling at night that goes on in here, but they love sharing a room, and I loved the way the whole room turned out. The embroidery on the linens is just so pretty. It's scalloped bows. And I love the pattern on pattern. So we have the wallpaper on the pillow fabric as well. And then I thought the gingham was just a nice mix to that. This piece over here used to be in our entryway, which I loved for entryway, but it just works so well in here, and it's sophisticated. So it balances out the sweetness of the room a little bit. And I just love the way it all played together. So I love that I found a new home, and I will be sad to leave this sweet room when we leave this house. But so my daughters love sharing a room in the new house. They cannot believe that I would have ever put them in separate rooms. I thought we wanted separate rooms because sometimes the second child, who is more of our wild child, is like, where is my room? Where our oldest child is a little bit of a scaredy cat and loves her sister being with her at all times. So I thought we wanted separate rooms, but it turns out they love sharing rooms with each other, probably because it's one big party every night. But makes for really sweet childhood memories. My brothers shared a room, and they loved it. So I'm happy. Whatever they want to do, we can have a guest bedroom if they want to share next house. So when I was designing this room, I loved the wallpaper, and it is a repeat pattern if you look at it, but I loved dividing it up with these canopies over the bed. And I also think it just makes you feel very enclosed and gives you a sense of space. So I loved that for them, and I love the way they turned out. And the fabric's linen, so it's not super structured, and I love the way it just hangs. It's a drapey look, but I love how it really creates just a space for each of them. So one of my favorite things about designing for my kids is they add their own little touches to everything. And this little bird cage is something they hung in here. And I mean, there couldn't be something that's more perfect. It's quirky and it's weird, but it's perfect here. And so I love how they've added things. And on the back of their bedroom door, there's all these pictures they draw, and then they stick them to the back of the door. And it makes a house a home. So I love that. So the next room is our master, and a lot of florals are in here as well. As I mentioned before, my husband is happy with whatever design I want to do, which is really sweet, because a lot of the times it is a lot of florals. Again, you'll see another canopy. I did them for my girls, and then I was like, I have to have that too for myself. So it's a little bit more formal. The inside is pleated, which is one of my favorite things. On the top of the canopy, when you're looking up, you see all these pleats, which I didn't do for the girls. So you do learn as you go on things that you could improve on. I added these silk tassels, and again, I love the floral, the striped floral print of the fabric, and then there's this beautiful silk on the headboard that also has a floral. Another one of my favorite parts of this room is these bedside table lamps. My husband and I went to Paris when my daughter was 18 months old. My second daughter was 18 months old, and it was my first time to ever leave the kids. And it probably wasn't the best idea to go to Paris for the first time of leaving them. But when we were there, we stayed at the Ritz, and I was like, I have to have these. I have to take them home with me. And they're in every room, so it's like, they've got to sell them anyway. They had them in their gift store. So we bought them, and here they are. I'm not waiting for the next house for these. So it's like, these are perfect here. And a fun fact, I never had wallpaper in here. Wanted it. My kids both have, all my kids have wallpaper in their room. But because we're about to move, I never did anything to it. But this is actually peel and stick wallpaper that I did myself. And so I was very impressed. It was very therapeutic. It's a really great way to slow down. And it's like painting. It's just very relaxing. And so I'm really impressed with the way I did it and how it turned out, but it looks really pretty. And so it's just another layer, another texture in here, which always makes things very cozy. The rug in this room and the light fixture were always here. I put them in when we moved into this house. And so those are kind of the grounding points of the room. And we've worked around them on all the designs that this room has had. So we've always had a variation of seats in this bay window, and they are used if we need a quiet place to do a Zoom or just to sit, but a lot of the times they are used for bags, shoes, putting on shoes. It is a nice place to sit, especially when it's raining outside. I love sitting here and kind of decompressing, but it's a nice place when you shut your bedroom door to sit and relax. It's really, really nice at night when you have these floor lamps on. So I mentioned my husband is fine with florals and all of that. So I love pink pieces, and this room did turn pretty pink pretty quickly as we were going along, but I am a pink girl at the end of the day. And so it is very fitting, and it's a very charming and relaxing room. I love the combination of, just in general, tone on tone, creams, whites together. And I feel like this dusty pink has really joined into that. And so it has, although it is pink, it is a neutral. So because I design jewelry, I have a lot of jewelry options. And so what I like to do is get pieces that I really want to wear, I haven't worn in a while, because, you know, a mom of three, it's like you grab what you're used to. So I'll wear a lot of the same earrings, but I do love wearing all of my pieces. And so what I try to do is put the pieces I really want to wear that I wouldn't normally grab for out, so they're easy to grab when I am getting ready. And so these are one of our new pieces, and they're just super fun hearts. And this is actually a piece that hasn't come out yet, but it's a reminder to think about how we want to shoot it and all of that. And so that's kind of how I organize my jewelry and what I need to wear, what I want to wear, and it's always pretty, like, I love to see it. This is something that we just launched. We made tiaras in some of the same styles as we have earrings. So it's always fun to have a mannequin head in your bedroom, but I love the way the linen head looked with the earrings. And yeah, I have my necklaces and bracelets and jewelry boxes out. So everything's in a place where I can grab it and see it. And I always feel like if you can see things, you will wear them. And so it's a 2-for-1 because they do look pretty out. And it is my jewelry station. I don't normally show people inside of my closet. It's a 3x5 space that is very full, and it only allows for one season of clothes at a time. But I have it organized as best I can possible. I can't really totally invite you in because there's not room for the both of us, but I do use a little bit of my husband's closet, most of his closet actually, and I will also be doing that in the new house. He's going to have a very limited area. It is bigger, a lot bigger than this, but it works, and it helps me be so minimal. Like, this doesn't look minimal, but I do have a rule: 1 in, 1 out. So anytime I get something new, something goes out. And if I haven't worn it in a while, it also goes out. I found out how to get a ton of shoes in one area. There's ways to do it, but this is a crowded but very happy and beautiful space with a lot of pretty pieces. These were the shoes I had bought to wear with my wedding dress. And when I put them on, right before I was about to walk down the aisle, these flowers kept grabbing on the bottom of my lace, so I couldn't wear them. And luckily I had some other shoes for other wedding events, so it was pretty funny. They like photographed them with the rings, and they did all these pictures, and I never wore them. But I can't get rid of them because they are kind of my wedding shoes. I tried to organize everything by color to help me be able to see things, but yeah, doesn't always have to be beautifully displayed, as you can see, but it does its job. When I'm in client meetings for interior design back in the day, or even now, you can see it. It's really the way people dress indicate pretty well what their interior style is going to be, what they lean towards. Sometimes, you know, the husband has more say and is more design driven than the wife, and so it's not always telltale, but definitely with women, more than likely what they are wearing and how they dress themselves is what they like their interiors to be. And I feel like you can probably see that in my closet, that it's a bunch of florals, it's a bunch of prints. One of my favorite pieces that I cannot wait to wear is this jacket, which does look like my bedroom, but it is so fun. And I just cannot wait for Texas to maybe even be 80 degrees and I'll start wearing it. I love this jacket and I cannot wait to wear it. And then a fun dress I can show you is this one, which even though there's purples in here, I feel like it probably feels a lot like my home. And if I wore this, you might be able to envision what my home looks like. Okay, so this is the kids' bathroom at the end of the day. And when we had Oliver, our youngest, he needed a changing table. So we redid this layout. There used to just be a nice stool in here, a vanity stool. And we put this bar cart with a little cushion on it, some baskets underneath, called it a day. And so we have a changing station and we can still get in the bathtub, and it, you know, it is what it is. But I think it's actually really cute for having a changing station in here, and it worked well. But this is a Waterworks vanity, and this is a Pella light fixture, which was one of the original kind of more funky pieces I put in the house. Needs a little bit of dusting, but it's called the bubble chandelier, and it really is bubbly. The mirror is from Restoration Hardware, and this faucet is a wall faucet, and it is from Newport Brass. So I've always loved this bathroom. It has a lot of great light in it. It's small, but it works perfectly. And the wallpaper is just really fun and adds just a fun twist to the rest of the house. It's still hot, but this is our little outdoor space, which is great when it's a little bit cooler outside. We had a rough, hot summer here in Texas, so it's a little bit dead outside, a little brown, but it's nice to have a green wall and be under the trees and have a place to sit off the kitchen when the kids are playing outside. And so it's a really charming little area. So this deck was original, and it was double the size because to my left is where the study is, where we added on to the study. So this was an original deck, and we just felt like there was no need to change it. There was nothing wrong with it, and so we kept it. It's worn over the ages, but it works for us, and it disappears into the trees and the greenery, so it's stayed. So we don't spend a ton of time out here in the summer, but you know, our winters aren't as cold as other areas of the world, and fall is a great time to be outside. When we used to have an outdoor TV out here, but I put a green wall up instead. And we watched football out here when it was football season. I say we, I never watched football. My husband watched football out here. And so we can use it, just not, you know, it's not really a great place in the summer to sit outside, but in the shadier areas, it's doable. Home to me means just a safe place, a place that you want to be, a place that you long to be when you've been away, even when you're somewhere amazing, a place you can't wait to get back to, a place you want to invite your loved ones to and have memories made there, have special occasions. And I'm a homebody, so I love being at home. I hate leaving, so I really love having a very special place, and it's rubbed up on my children. They don't want to move. They don't want to go to our new house. They were like, no, we love everything. We love our toys here. We love the trees. We love everything. And I was like, we can't take the trees with us, but we will take everything else. And so I think that's special. They feel very safe and cozy here too.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Mateo. Welcome to my home here in Houston. Cannot wait to show you around. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Matthew Harris, the designer of Mateo, New York, and you're here in my Houston home. So, I moved back from Luxembourg in 2019 after a long stint in Europe, and I was searching for a home. COVID came and I've always loved Houston, so I took a little road trip down to Houston, came and saw a few properties, lost the first property that I put in an offer for due to the seller pulling back, not wanting to sell the properties. And my realtor said to me, come and look at this last house. The moment I came through the door, I immediately knew it. The floor to ceiling, double height living room just blew my mind away. Sure, it was dated and a bit aged and in old Texan fashion, but I knew the bones were just fantastic. So I bought the house and completely gut renovated it. I mean, there were bars everywhere. There was a gas fireplace everywhere. I got rid of all of that and then made it, you know, a very modern, relaxing and welcoming home. Welcome to my foyer. As you can see, it's quite quaint, and I decided to really open up the space because when I bought this house, we had these old farmhouse banisters and it just really made the space feel so compact. But as you can tell now with the new modern touches, it really just opens up the space and give it a breath of fresh air. There's a beautiful light sculpture in the ceiling by Michael Anastasides, a Spanish lighting designer. And this piece is called the arrangement. You can choose whichever configuration you'd like, and you can add as many pieces as you'd like. I've always wanted this piece, so the moment I could save my coins to get it, I definitely went for it. And I think it just is a great conversation piece when you walk in. I also went with a frameless banister because we're grown adults and I don't have kids. I know everyone is always concerned about falling off, but I think it's just a beautiful architectural touch. And we also went with these beautiful wide oak planks for the staircase, which I absolutely adore. And then we added this beautiful quartz inlay for a modern touch. I really just love the entry, and I think the entry of a house should just be welcoming and warm. I don't know, I just love it. I really do. It really makes me happy once I walk in. To the left of the foyer is the dining room, and I will now show you. Welcome to my dining room. It's kind of a room filled with pop colors. Very modern, a vintage Leon Rosen table that I got in Atlanta while I was on a trip. And I've been watching actually this table on First Dibs for so long. Went to Atlanta and found it on a deal. I think I paid nothing for it. Changed the tabletop and did a larger glass on top, and I have my beautiful Christoffel egg that we just love to present at dinner because everyone is always wondering where's the silverware. But it's all here. There's an Ethan Cook piece of art here that my dealer sent over. It's not even a painting, it's actually hand-woven canvas to create this piece. Very modern, very minimal. My mom forced me to add color in the house, so this was the first injection of color. The light sculpture is a mobile by Angel Mombieru, who is also another Spanish designer, and it's a mobile inspired by Alexander Calder. As you could tell, I love Alexander Calder's work. There's also another mobile sitting here on this pedestal. And this is by Volta in Paris, which is also produced in Spain. For some reason, it seems as if I have a lot of Spanish creations in this house. But no, this is the dining room, and it's so simple and minimal. And I love a brutalist chair, so everyone makes fun of my chairs because they're really a work of art. They're like sculptures. And I like a chair that's a bit punishing, if I must say. So they're quite sturdy and hard, but I think it's the perfect touch for the dining room. And you sit upright in these chairs, which I love. Again, they're quite punishing, but a beautiful touch to a very modern and minimal but cozy dining room. You know, for dining, for entertaining, I like to keep it quite simple. I don't like when things are too pretentious. So I don't need a massive ice bucket and the whole display. I like when you're comfortable in the space. Oftentimes you go to people's parties, you're nervous to sit somewhere, you're nervous to put a glass down somewhere. This is not the home for that. Here you really truly can just relax and enjoy the party. It's kind of a colonial style home. I live in this gated compound, and all the homes are these kind of a colonial Mac mini mansions, I guess. I think that's how people in Texas kind of lived. And I'm anti-colonial homes based on the fact that I'm from an English colony called Jamaica. So when you walk into the house, it's this beautiful modern delight. I like to call it a Gemini home because you get one thing 1 minute, and when you come over the other side, it's a complete different thing. So this is what I like to call a Gemini home. Well, I like to start with modern art. I'm obsessed with artists like Alexander Kolda, Wassily Kandinsky, the Russian painter. So that always, sparks the inspiration for anything that I do in terms of design, whether it's jewelry or interior design. I love pops of color, although I don't wear color normally. I literally only wear black. I'm trying to even, spruce up my collection by putting on a blue denim because I'm literally in all black. When you see my closet, you'll understand. But my design style is truly just modern and comfortable. For me, comfort is so important because you go to some people's house and it's like a gallery. This house is so easy to live in because nothing is too precious. And I think when you live in a home, nothing should be too precious or untouchable. I grew up with a mother who wouldn't allow me to sit in one of the living rooms because she was like, no one goes here. This is only for special occasions. At this house, in this home, everything is just to be used and touched and to experience, from the art to the funky Turgay X-Storm chairs. It's truly my style. Again, simple but functional and hopefully timeless. Off the dining room is the living room. I'll take you there. Welcome to my living room. This space really is just impressive. It's this grand volume and just really collectible furniture. I've been collecting furniture for quite some time, and I did not have a space to put it. Luckily, I found the perfect home for all this great furniture. So this space was quite a challenge in the sense that because of its size, how could one make it intimate and warm at the same time? And I hope that I have accomplished that. We place the Le Corbusier chaise next to this fantastic light sculpture. And I adore this light sculpture by Nicola Bathie because it looks as if the bulb is melting on the steel. Again, beautifully handmade in LA. I found this at Love House, New York, and just immediately had to have it. I believe they sold it to me off the floor. There's a Vladimir Kagan couch, which is sitting next to a Charlotte period pair of stools. Again, just archival, great furniture pieces that will stand the test of time. I've always wanted Nicolas Kagan couches because I used to watch him on First Dibs, so I'm always on the app looking and bidding. Been very fortunate to get 2 pieces in this house. I paint. Most people don't know that. So this piece I painted myself, and I thought it was the perfect accent to the home. Again, quite a dramatic scale, but it's perfect in this double height, with this double height ceiling. There's a French oak bench, which is heavy. Again, another perfect piece in the living room. So you can sit here and have a really great glass of champagne. And I love that all the patina and the scratches are here on the bench because I think it just gives it more character. A very good vintage find. When I bought this house, there wasn't a pool. And as I mentioned earlier, when I first opened the doors to this house, I knew immediately this was the house I wanted because I could envision the pool in front of this stunning set of windows. And yeah, we built a pool. It was a nightmare to build a pool, but we finally, finally did it. And it's the perfect accent to this living room. Now, the Turget X-Storm chairs from 1980, a very impressive find. I found it from a dealer in Amsterdam. And normally they come in these funky colors of like reds and yellows and neon green. And the dealer was able to reupholster it for me here in black. And I know they look insane to sit on, but I tell you, they're so comfortable. Everybody comes over and they're nervous to sit on the furniture. I'm like, guys, really, just sit, because it's so comfy. And as I said, I encourage everybody to come here and like relax and have fun. And we have raves. Every Thanksgiving, we have raves, and you know, you can stand on the table because nothing is too precious here. Everything is livable. And that's the beauty about this living room. It's almost like a gallery, but it's a warm, friendly, fun gallery with really just fun furniture. And this is why I love this living room. So currently I'm working on my villa. I'm building a villa in Jamaica, I guess my home in Jamaica. And we're doing a lot of research on Oscar Niemeyer, because the house in Jamaica is also a brutalist, minimalist home that I'm doing, but heavily influenced by the tropical climate. And Oscar Niemeyer is an idol in architecture. And yeah, we're doing loads of research on him. So in the house in Jamaica, we're planning to do a spiral staircase. And every day I come down, I manifest this spiral staircase because I must have this spiral staircase. I must have, you know, this very Oscar Niemeyer-esque home. And I just love Brazilian architecture and furniture. And that's mostly what's sitting on my coffee table. And there's loads of jewelry books on the table as well. This is new, the Jamaica vibes, because I'm Jamaican and I love showing people my home, my culture, my country. So there's also loads of reads about Jamaica, because for me, it is paradise. There's also a Monopoly board on my desk, because my friends and I, we tend to love to just be kids all over again. And I found this years ago, actually at CB2, and it's all dusty at this point, but I, again, just love to have these kind of things on my coffee table because it's friendly and it's warm and you can really just interact with your guests when they're here. Again, loads of art books and jewelry books. This is one of my favorite jewelry designers from Turkey, Sevan Bikachki. And this is the kind of stuff I keep on my coffee table, you know. Yeah, this is kind of really it, you know, just stuff that inspires me. And when I sit here, I can always go through magazines and be inspired. I was doing my master's and I was like, why am I even in school? It's not my passion. And I was taking a bus I was modeling in New York, let me start there. So I was modeling in New York, finished a job, heading back to DC, and a guy saw me on the bus while I was reading a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The stranger grabbed the book out of my hand, and I was like, what is going on? And handed me a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He said, read this book, it's going to change your life. It's literally that random. I never saw the guy again. So I read the book for about 2 months and the book changed my life. I discovered that my burning desire or my burning passion was fine jewelry. And I went to 47th Street in New York and started making jewelry, and I never looked back. You know, I've been very fortunate. Rihanna was the first celebrity to wear a piece of mine. I woke up one morning and it says, Rihanna wears Matteo's zipper necklace. It was on Just Jared, if you remember what Just Jared is. And things just took off. We launched at Macy's, we launched at Nordstrom's, and things just continuously, just organically developed because I never set out to have a jewelry brand. The goal was just to make really some jewelry for myself at first and see how it went until a full business developed and formalized. And then American Vogue came along, French Vogue came along, and I was top 10 in the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund, and things just took off. So that kind of sums up my, you know, my rise in fashion. And in 2019, I started researching more and more about interior design, and then that pivot over into interior design. And, you know, I just fell in love with being creative in general. I think that's really just my passion, is just creativity. Off my living room is the kitchen. This is one of, well, I'm probably going to say this quite a bit, one of the most favorite rooms in the house because I love to cook and I cook every single day. So it's important to have a kitchen that is functional as well as beautiful. And I like to think this is the epitome of functionality and beauty. I changed the stone in this kitchen about 3 times. I think my contractor wanted to kill me after the last time. First we tried quartz, we tried Kolkata marble, still didn't feel right. My friend from Elle magazine, she was like, Google panda marble. Google panda marble, and I discovered this. Found a stone dealer here in Houston, and I begged and pleaded to get the last slabs of stone so we could wrap the island and the backsplash in this stunning marble. And what I love about this marble is that there's hints of gold running through the veins here. And again, being a jewelry designer, I love gold and I love a precious gemstone. So this to me just feels precious, although it's still functional. But it's so beautiful and it's so soft and smooth and well polished and doesn't stain easily, which I love. I found this fantastic light fixture from Lumen, and what I love is this beautiful gold leaf finish in the inside of this dome. Again, I don't love a hood. I don't love a hood over a stove, personally. So this was the compromise. And again, just a beautiful kitchen. Kept the cupboards which were original to the house and did these beautiful brass finishes that we found from Rejuvenation. And again, just a fantastic touch. We added a wine fridge because we like our wine, although there's nothing there during the week because we don't drink during the week. So we try to not have any wine or champagne there. But no, this is the kitchen and I absolutely adore this kitchen and I spend a lot of time here. When I'm hosting people, it's always Jamaican food first. So we're doing a coconut curried shrimp. We're doing an oxtail. We're doing a rice and peas. We're doing a fried plantain. We're doing an escovitch fish. I am Jamaican, so you're always going to get the best Jamaican delights. I want you to always feel and taste a part of my home. So there's always Jamaican food in this kitchen. So when I bought this house, this kitchen was stuck in the very early 90s. There was a counter here with a bar. The island was so tiny, it was literally from here to there. We just knocked everything out and really opened up the kitchen. I think it's important that when you're entertaining, you should always be able to see your guest. And so we knocked everything out, expanded it, really opened up the space into the volume of the living room. And it's, again, an entertaining paradise, this kitchen. Because while the guests are sitting here drinking and laughing, you can also partake. So this kitchen is an entertainer's dream. On top of the island is this fantastic ceramic from Mexico. I have a fantastic dealer. I cannot stop using the word fantastic because I do love the people that I work with here in Houston. He goes to Mexico and always brings back some of the best, ceramics that I can find. There's some by the pool, and there is also this piece here, which I really, really love. And what I love is that the date is also here, and this is from 1870. I think it just adds some warmth to the kitchen, plus we add a bit of color with the green, because as you can tell, I love black and white. I think every kitchen should have a breakfast nook or a breakfast living room, I like to call this section. Again, another beautiful find from a vintage dealer in Chicago. I found a Vladimir Kagan. This is from the 1980s as well. I wanted to inject color in a meaningful way instead of plastering all the walls with a main color. I just felt as if art and furniture was the way to go. So this beautiful red just accents this black, white, and gold kitchen. I was in Botswana a few months ago and I found this chief's chair, which I, again, love. They shipped it to me. I was on a trip with the Bears and I went to the diamond mine, and one of the members from the mine took me to their local town and I found this chief's chair. What I love is that there is a heart sitting down in the middle. And it's an interesting piece because it's 2 pieces in one. Let me move it here so you can see. Because if I pull, see that? It all lays flat. I have never seen that before. Had to have it, loved it. So this was my find from Botswana, and I want to thank the Botswanan people because this is actually genius. And I love a good chair. Love a good chair that is punishing and brutal but beautiful. And again, there's also a heart, so I love that. There's also some Houston art. You know, I find it quite subversive and funny, but the perfect piece of art for the kitchen. It's by a local artist. Apparently he painted this while he was in prison. Don't know how, where he got oil paint from, but I thought it was quite, you know, sensual, sexual, and charming, and the perfect piece of art again for a kitchen. I would love to show you the main bedroom, but before I do, I'd like to show you this gem of a powder room and my office. And welcome to the first floor powder room. This is my little, I like to call it the blue box. I love Yves Klein, and I love the Yves Klein blue, and we finally were able to get the perfect color. I think there's about 10 coats of paint on here, and many trips to Sherwin-Williams, they finally custom made the right blue for this room, and it's beautifully accented again with another Michael Anastasiades for floss-like fixture. And again, we love a beauty mirror. My friends, they love Instagram and they love social media, so when they come here, this is their perfect way to do their little videos when they're visiting me. But a fantastic room. We love to bring in jewelry notes into the interior design space. So this room is almost this, it's like a gemstone, you know, this beautiful lapis kind of a room. And we, again, adore this powder room. And most guests, they never want to go upstairs, which I love because I like the privacy. So this is perfect for them to use. Let's go take a peek in my office. Let's go. Welcome to my office. This is a space I use every single day. So for me, it's important that it's, number one, peaceful. Number two, functional. I always speak about functionality because I truly use every space in this house. Vintage French oak desk. It's really a dining table that we turn into the office desk because I love to just spread out while I'm working, because I'm sketching, I'm packing jewelry, I'm shipping, I'm doing all sorts of things. It's important to have just a really mass space. This photo of my best friend, Eugenia Washington, she's wearing her Baroque pearl earring, and I shot this myself actually. So I do some photography as well. And it's important to add all these personal touches to the space. So I'm very proud of this office because there's a mood as well with this photograph that I find quite beautiful. The two chairs for when my assistants are here, it's these Fade Too Good rolly chairs from London. Again, really love, I think there's about 3 of them here in the house. I know they're a bit low, but they're so comfortable. Like you just sit in there and it's this cozy moment while you're working. I think you should be comfortable while you work. Why not? So, love these chairs. And again, love the desk, love the chips, love this beat up feel. Because again, nothing is too precious in this house. And we always have fresh flowers. But this is the office. This is where the magic happens for Mateo, New York. Well, everything in the house always ties back to jewelry. And I think you'll see that as we go through. When you come through the foyer, there is a fantastic light installation by Michael Anastasiades, the Spanish lighting designer. And it looks like a chandelier earring, actually. So when you come through, you will see it. And it's also, this earring, or this light is also in my collection, my jewelry collection. And you tend to see a lot of jewelry notes in the house as well. There is a kind of a lapis blue powder room. In my house in Lisbon, there's an emerald green, a deep emerald green office there. In this house, there's also the black room, which represents the black onyx, the gemstone. And there's hints of, gold all over the house as well, which ties back into yellow gold. And I tend to wear quite a bit of yellow gold. So no, there's a lot of jewelry tied back into the house. For me, it's super important that you know, both marries each other, because it is my daily life. And I also want to be inspired when I'm at home. And this house, I'm always inspired. Now I'll take you upstairs to see the main bedroom and the guest bedroom. Let's go. On the landing of the second floor, we have two really fantastic pieces of art. Art is so important to me. And then having black art is, again, super vital to my well-being as a creative. This piece is from an Italian painter who happens to be black, actually. He's Ethiopian and Italian. His name is Gem Pericini, and to me, it looks like a modern day Renaissance painting. Absolutely love. He has grown tremendously over the past few years, and I've had this piece since 2020. This piece here is by Titus Kapoor that I got from Gagosian in New York City from the gallery, and it's from the Redactive series, and it's about Ferguson. Again, very strong and powerful piece of art. I'll take you inside the bedroom. My bedroom is a place of, honestly, peace and serenity, because being an entrepreneur, you're always stressed, you're always overwhelmed. So I like that when I come to the bedroom, it should almost be like a spa. So here we have a cloud bed from Restoration Hardware. And I know everyone's probably tired of the cloud series, but this bed, honestly, you lay down, off in the clouds. Really fantastic. And I paired two solid marble side tables and these Atolo lamps in the brass, which I really just love. Again, anything with a bit of gold, anything with a bit of jewelry, I just love these little touches in the house. The artwork is a water painting by Pepe Mouzon. He is or was Celine Dion's stylist, and he hand painted that for me during the Black Lives Matter movement, and I thought that was so sweet of him. And it's sitting right here in my bedroom. I have a Linéa Rosé Togo. This I snatched from the other set in Lisbon, because in Lisbon I have the full set out in the house there, and I stole one piece to go here. And I sit here and I read and I have coffee in the morning. And we also have a built-in coffee station here in the bedroom because I hate having to walk downstairs in the morning for coffee. And yeah, this is my bedroom. You know, very simple. We just added the Noguchi lamp that I bought in Tokyo because I love to also incorporate things that I get on my travels. But this room is simply just beautiful. What I love most about this home is that it's peaceful. You know, I love that you can sit here and there's the calmest silence, if there's such a way of describing it, that runs through this house. It's soothing. This place also just hugs you, and that's what I love this house. I'll take you to the master bath and closet. This bathroom, again, is very spa-like. I keep the emphasis on things being spa-like on the second floor, because downstairs is so much of a gallery. This is this cozy, warm, sensual space that you just want to, number one, lay in a bathtub and have a glass of champagne. You know, take a really long hot bath in the steam shower. We really kept everything super simple. Did these beautiful slate floors with this beautiful textured finish that we love, with these beautiful chrome finishes. There's a piece of art here by a Philadelphian artist by the name of Shakeith, who finished his studies at Yale University. And this was actually my very first piece of art I've ever bought. Fantastic artist, and was very grateful to acquire his piece when I was 30. So there's a special emotional connection to this. And I'll take you inside of the closet. I mentioned I only wear black. So don't be alarmed when you come in. There's literally only black in this closet. And there's a massive collection of Hermes that I've been collecting for ages. So yeah, it's just black and Hermes. and vintage watches. And I literally, my mom forced me to have a few white shirts. Just like, you're not going to a funeral, you must have some color. And for me, there's one color in here. And it's like this Comme des Garçons shirt that I wear to the beach. Beyond that, everything is literally black. And I collect some vintage watches. And yeah, I love black. You know, I think black is sexy, it's powerful, but it's also quiet. It's also bold, but it's also humble. Does that make any sense? This is the beauty about black. And then you look timeless, and you're always chic. I love a good dinner watch, so I have a collection of dinner watches actually. This is a vintage Cartier, I believe it's from 1969, and it has a double bezel. Found this in Paris, off Rue de Rivoli, and hustled the woman that was selling it. I paid nothing for this Cartier watch. I think I paid like 3,500 euros, if I can say that. Very good steal. I have a Norwegian friend, and he takes me to another dealer in Paris as well. This is a vintage Vacheron, and I love to wear this to dinner. Nothing like a clean button down and a chic watch. Again, timeless, sexy, and decadent. The last room I'll show you on this floor is the guest bedroom. And welcome to the guest bedroom. This room, again, is very spa-like. I know you'll be tired of this word, this phrase by the time I'm done. But this room, warm and very cozy with little touches of modernism here. This beautiful mirror that I got from Canada. It's all made of concrete and has this beautiful marbleized finish. Another Fagood Rolly chair. This beautiful vase which was gifted to me from a friend Melody, and I believe it's from Adam. See, forgot the name. Anyway, I should remember. It was a gift. What is wrong with me? Oh, it's Jonathan Adler. God damn it. Anyway, so yeah, that's how I got this. That's how I got this vase. A friend gifted that to me as a housewarming gift. I have some family portraits in here. That's my dad with his first Cadillac. He liked to tell me he was the first person with a Cadillac in Jamaica. And this is me at my christening. Restoration hardware bed and beautiful Belgian linen. And I believe, and this beautiful lamp that I got from Lulu and Georgia. So that was some online shopping that was done well, because I really love these lamps. They're very heavy. So solid marble and the Stingray side tables that I absolutely just love the texture. I love anything that's like tactile and has a really rich finish. And yeah, this is the guest bedroom. I try not to make it too comfortable because I don't want my guests to stay that long, but they really, really just love this room. And again, this room is like a warm hug, and it's right off the yoga studio. So there's this beautiful combination of fitness on this side of the house and comfort. What makes it come alive? God, I think it's how you live in it that makes it come alive. And I think it's so important to truly just love being home, especially after COVID. Home has become such an integral part in so many people's lives. And I think truly living in your home is of utmost importance for a house to come alive. To me, home means a peaceful sanctuary.
Hey guys, it's Amanda and welcome to my West Hollywood home.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi, I'm Amanda Thomas. I'm the owner and designer of Love AJ Jewelry, and today we are in West Hollywood. The way I ended up in this home was very serendipitous. I got divorced a couple years ago and really wanted to take my time figuring out what neighborhood I wanted to live in. I'm born and raised LA. I've always lived on the west side, but I just thought West Hollywood would be so fun, so walkable. I've got a ton of friends here. But finding a house in this neighborhood was a lot harder than I thought. This was the 4th house I put an offer in. I had another one a couple of blocks away. I was in escrow, fell out of escrow. This one, when I walked in, I just felt like this was my house. I even told the realtor that, and she was so sweet and she gave me a big hug. And yeah, I fought to get this house, but once I got it, I just knew it was gonna be my new special home. I think what really drew me into this house to begin with was this gorgeous Australian gum tree in the front yard. And my whole family's Australian, my mom is from Adelaide. And I just was like, that just feels like a sign. And you know, the house was a pretty basic white box, but I just knew the bones were good, and with some amazing paint and fixtures and marble, this place was gonna be amazing. I'm definitely well versed with renovating houses. My sister is an incredible interior designer, and growing up, my mom and dad always flipped houses, so I feel like it's a very natural territory for me. One thing about me, if you know me, I love all my homes to be super beige, very white, very clean colors. But for some reason with this house, I was just kept thinking green. And I found this one paint swatch by Portola Paints called Grape Leaf. And it was just the most perfect green. It's actually my kitchen green. And me and my sister just decided, we're like, let's just go green. So there's a ton of green pops throughout the house, and especially with the landscaping, making sure the landscaping felt like it was part of the home was really important. I think if I had to describe the style of the home, first and foremost is it's really comfy, cozy. I like to use the word cashmere. I just feel like when you walk in, you want to like get on the couch, get under a blanket, hang out here forever. I also think it is really eclectic. I used lots of green, like I mentioned, this insane purple veined Calcutta viola all throughout the home, in the bathrooms, in the kitchen. The bathroom is this gorgeous green absinthe tile. So I think there is a little bit of fun with the color, but at the end of the day, it's so cozy and comfy and very just like California chic. Welcome to my living room. So I would definitely say this is the focal point of the house. When I first walked in, I saw the skylights. I was like, I love this room, but it needs a little more oomph. So I think one of the first things we decided to do was Roman clay all of the walls, which is this gorgeous Portola Paints color. It's called Serene Thought. I think it just adds a lot of texture to the room, and I like how subtle the color is, but you can still tell that it's green. I'm obsessed with travertine, so this is this amazing travertine console table I got on First Dibs, and then I actually made myself little travertine slabs to put a vintage vase and my Love AJ signature candle. It's the best scent ever. I love this couch so much. This is the Restoration Hardware Cloud Couch. I actually sadly lost my original one in my divorce, so when I moved, I was like, I have to get another one. It's the best investment. It's so comfy. I just went with a really clean perennials fabric, so if you spill stuff on it, it's really easy to get off. And I just decided to pop a little green with the pillows, and then these are these gorgeous Pearson Ward champagne velvet pillows. I think it added a lot of really nice texture. And this piece here is so special to me. My friend Jonathan painted it for me. He was just like, name random things and objects that feel very Amanda. So I did, and he put it together. My dad had Porsches growing up, so I love Porsches. Got a little chain for the jewelry. We've got the palm tree because I love Palm Springs. We go there all the time. So this piece is super special. Also in this room, I've never done this before, but we played with different types of wood. Usually I stick with one, but if you see this table, it's kind of a lighter wood, and then this gorgeous chair is a little bit darker, and then you get to the bookcase, which is two-tone, and I think it's fun to play with all of the different wood colors. These two pieces are Soho Home. This is my favorite chair. I love to sit here because I can like have my drinks, and I can work on my laptop. So this is like my work chair. I take Zooms here all the time. And then the bookcase is so cool, and I just wanted to throw all of my tchotchkes and things that I've collected over time This is like a little weird crab I got in Bali. This is a pineapple thing I just got in Mexico on vacation. This is from my parents' childhood home. So this is very eclectic. It's my favorite books. Lots of plants too, because I just wanted to feel really fresh and green. And the best part of the living room, which I have talked about before, but this is the gorgeous window. So this actually wasn't here when I first got the house. And I just think it completely changes the entire room. You can sit here, almost feel like you're outdoors. This is an Australian gum tree. It's original to the home. It's very mature, and yeah, I just think it's totally gorgeous. And also you can see back here, I did all these amazing vintage potted plants, lots of greenery, just so it's green on green on green. In the corner here, I have this really cool vintage pot I got in Palm Springs. I go to Palm Springs all the time. I've got a place out there and I love vintage shopping. They've got the best finds, best scores. So I got this, I liked the height of it, and I felt like I could really command the corner and kind of bring the outdoor indoor as well with the plant inside. One of my favorite pieces of art in the house is this incredible porcelain chainmail piece by Taylor Kibbe. I found her on Instagram. I had her custom make this. I used to actually make chainmail jewelry. Back in the day, I literally worked with this Canadian company that would make suits of armor for movies. So I had them do like chainmail hand pieces and necklaces. So when I saw her work, I was like, I have to get a piece. And I just think it's the perfect thing you see right when you walk into my house. This rug is actually just vintage on Etsy. Etsy has the best rugs, you guys. Really well priced. I thought the red tone would be kind of fun to pick up in the cherry color and also play off with the green as a contrast. And I'm really happy with how it looks with the floors as well. I actually spend most of my time in this room working because I feel like it has such good light. I don't feel crazy if I'm on my laptop all day. The light really changes and I feel like it's such a nice vibe. This is my work chair. But when I have friends over, the couch is where we are at. We are drinking reposado, watching Vanderpump Rules, under blankets. It's the comfiest, coziest spot. I'm obsessed with these sconces, just flanking this gorgeous piece. The sconces are by Henny Pinmade, and they're this amazing frosted glass with wood, which also really picks up on the table and the chair. It's a really cool mixture of wood and glass. Speaking of glass, two of my favorite mirrored pieces in here. First is this table. This has been with me in so many homes. I just feel like it's so quintessential Love AJ. It's covered in real Brazilian quartz crystals all around the edge. It's a bit of a hazard. I feel like if I ever have kids, I probably have to get rid of it, but I love how it looks. And this mirror has also traveled with me to many homes. This is so Love AJ too. I feel like this goes with the theme of Mandy's jewel box, where it has the chain link all around. This is vintage from One Kings Lane. I've been a jewelry designer in LA since I was 14 years old, which is crazy. It's over 20 years, not to age myself too much, but yeah, so I always have a real sensibility with accessories and the tiny details and things. Like I love hardware and fixtures. And when we first started this project, we actually named it Mandy's Jewel Box because it is a really, really tiny home, but it's perfect. It's like the perfect size just for me. And I just wanted to make sure there was like little jewels in every single room. So whether it's the gorgeous chainmail art piece when you first walk in, or the amazing golden mushroom shaped cabinet knobs in my bedroom. Even with the chandelier in the kitchen, that almost looks like it could be like a sculptural stud earring that we made. Or just the kitchen with the mix of brass and green and purple. I just wanted to make sure the home felt like there was jewel-like elements all throughout it. A lot of the sconces around the house too are made from natural stone, and I just feel like that is so Love AJ because that's an actual material I use in my jewelry like season to season. And this is the kitchen. This is the ultimate green room. This is kind of where all the green started, was with the cabinetry. The cabinets are this amazing green color by Portola Paints called Grape Leaf. That was the inspiration for all the green amongst the house. So we did the cabinets in Portola, and then the countertops are the coolest. It's Calcutta Viola, and I did it honed, so it kind of has like a matte finish. I was nervous to have real stone in my kitchen. I usually have some sort of like fabricated top, but my sister told me just lean into it. If you get lemon stains or you spill wine or whatever, it's all about the patina, so that is what I'm going with. I really like this window. We actually added this just to bring in a little bit more light, and I just think in the morning when I'm making my little lemon water, it's just a really nice vibe over here. This plant, like, we just take a moment for this plant. This plant is so gorgeous. I actually saw it on Instagram. It's from the House Plant, H-A-U-S plant. And I went to their gorgeous nursery and I picked it up, and I just think it is so beautiful, so sculptural, and really just goes with the whole vibe of the kitchen. When I first got the house, it was giving very like West Hollywood apartment vibes. It was all this really kind of ugly dark walnut. It had the microwave over the oven, which I feel like is so quintessential WeHo apartment. So we took that out, put the microwave down here, and then we actually Roman clayed the hood. So I feel like this really ties in with the walls, but it is a slightly different color, so it differentiates it. I'm not the biggest cook, but I do know how to make delicious crispy scrambled eggs. So I make those every morning. My boyfriend likes to make his pour over coffee. So we do use the kitchen all the time. It's small, but it's mighty. Next is the rug. This is also vintage Etsy. You guys, this was impossible to find. A green runner rug in a very strange size, but once again, Etsy came through. I love this. I think it really grounds the space. It was a little bit too much open area here. And also if I'm cooking and spilling things, the rug catches it, which I love. Another focal part of the kitchen is this insane Calcutta Viola frame that we did. So I opened up this wall to make it a little bit bigger, so it just felt more open coming from the living room to the kitchen. But this was like a last minute thing. I actually saw it on Pinterest and I was like, do we have enough marble to do this? And we did. And I just think it is the ultimate finishing touch to the room. It makes all the photos look amazing. So I'm really happy this turned out really well. So this is the breakfast nook in the kitchen. When I first saw the house, this was so ugly. It was really dark. It had a really lame chandelier. Just was not a vibe, but my sister came up with the concept of doing an actual built-in sofa. And I just think it feels so much more homey and comfy and cozy and cashmere like I was talking about. So this couch is Sixpenny Home. The pillows are Lulu in Georgia. And then this table's really cool. This is actually travertine pedestals that I got, same vintage store in Palm Springs. And I just got a piece of glass fabricated and put on top. So it's kind of nice too when people are here, you can kind of like push it in and out. So it's very convertible. This chandelier is stunning. It's by Sputnik Lights. They're also on Etsy. They do all this gorgeous handcrafted brass. It's very mid-century modern, but I also felt like it feels very LaVage. It almost looks like they're little shell earrings or, you know, little pendants you can wear on a necklace. When I was thinking about what artwork I wanted in the kitchen nook, I actually found this scarf on the RealReal. It's a Jean Paul Gaultier scarf. I don't really even understand how you would wear it, but I love framing pieces of fabric. I think it looks really special and I love all the texture and like ripples in it. So I got this piece framed and I did this light wood to kind of pick up the wood that's in the living room, and I just think this is so perfect here. This isn't my first undertaking with a home. I'm a crazy person and I had just finished renovating my house in Pacific Palisades, but once I moved in, I was like, I'm not a Palisades girl. So I was only in that house for a year and then I moved to West Hollywood. This house is considered a bungalow style house. It's really, really small, but it also has a good backyard and like a little guest house as well, which is very, very typical for this neighborhood in West Hollywood. And welcome to the powder room. So this is my guest bathroom. I wanted this to be moody and be just a fun place to take a selfie if you're over here for dinner or hanging out. Also did Roman clay on these walls, just a much darker green. I had some fun with all of the fixtures. So this is extra of the Calcutta viola that you saw in the kitchen, but we did it polished instead. This vanity plus all the hardware is signature hardware. And I did this really dark bronze because I thought it really pulled out the purple in the veins of the Calcutta viola. So the floors and the shower are actually one of the only things that are original to the house that I did not change. I felt like it actually looked kind of cool, and adding the dark Roman clay on the walls was really gonna make it feel a little more intentional. Let's talk about the mirror. I literally made the whole bathroom based on the mirror. The mirror is by Concrete Cat. They are a concrete company based out of Montreal. And I saw this mirror on Instagram in pink. And I was like, I have to have it. So I had them custom make it in green to try to match the walls. And I just think it's so cool. This sconce up here is also by Sputnik Lights, who did the gorgeous chandelier in my breakfast nook. They just make really amazing handmade looking mid-century pieces, so I love them. And then this is like this really cute little snake that I got at a local shop down the street in West Hollywood. I just love how dark and moody and special this bathroom is. Now that we've seen the powder room, I'm going to show you guys the primary suite of the house. So when I first got the house, the master bathroom was like a serious puzzle to me. It was an odd shape. The room wasn't long enough to put a proper shower and a built-in bathtub. The shower just felt so tiny. So my sister and contractor came up with this idea of doing a wet room. So the bathroom is just this giant open room with one little glass door, and the shower and the bathtub are in the same area, and I just feel like I'm in a literal spa. And this is the primary bathroom. So this is my little haven. I hang out in way too many hours of the day. Once again, we did the Calcutta viola here, which I love, and this really, really dark bronzed hardware as well from Signature Hardware. I just think it really matches the marbles so well. One thing that I had to have in this bathroom, I stayed at this hotel once in Hawaii when I was a teenager, and they built a little lip with the marble above the sink, and I was like, that's so genius because you can put all your products. So this is my makeshift Sephora store, aka my bathroom. I have so many products, it's kind of crazy. And there wasn't a ton of storage, so this is a great place for me to be able to see everything, not forget about an expensive serum that I bought. And I even let my boyfriend have a couple things on his side. So once again, the walls in here are Roman clay as well. The color is called Thumper by Portola Paints. This is actually the same color of the hood that's in the kitchen. We did floor to ceiling as well. I just think it really makes the room feel encapsulated and it just really elevates it. These mirrors are Signature Hardware as well. I love that they've got the LED light. It almost acts like a ring light. I film all of my Love AJ TikToks in here. So this is the bathroom / wet room that we created. This wall is really short and I wanted to have a big shower, but also wanted a tub. So this just felt like the best option. So in here we have this amazing Signature Hardware tub, and I just tilted it on the side, but I think it's kind of cute. It kind of feels like a hotel vibe. And then this is the open wet room. So we have the big, ginormous 12-inch rainwater for the shower, which I love. This built-in juxtaposition with this tile, I think is so gorgeous. It's very unique. I know this isn't like a typical bathroom, but I just think it works so well together. This tile is by Zia Tile, and the color is called Absinthe. I really liked the variety as well. You've got some of these darker ones, some of these lighter ones, and then up here, I just did lots of green plants because I think it just really brings the outdoors indoors. This is truly one of my favorite places just to take a break in the middle of the day. I'm known for my 4 p.m. baths. I think it's so fun to get in the bath when the sun is still out with the skylight and the tub and the window. It is just the most relaxing vibe ever. So my bedroom obviously was the most important for me because I spend a lot of time in my bed, and I wanted to make the room really feel like a hotel room. So there wasn't a lot of storage, and I thought up this idea of doing this amazing built-in, so it would have the TV plus cabinets and big giant armoires. So I worked with our fabricator and it turned out so amazing. We did this really gorgeous dark wood. I got to have fun with all of like the knobs, and I just think the room literally feels like I've checked into a hotel, and I love that. This is my hotel room, as I like to call it. I really wanted it to feel super luxurious, very zen and peaceful, and I love how it turned out. So let's start with the built-in because I'm actually very proud of this. I drew this on a napkin and got my fabricator to make it, and it turned out so amazing. So we've got the TV here, flanked with these amazing Kelly Wearstler sconces. I did the back of this fluted as well because I felt like it looked like a Soho House hotel room. So I was like, that's a vibe. You know, I've got my little travertine trays and crystals. And then up here, I've got even more tchotchkes and books. I just felt like it added some personality to the whole built-in. Then I've got these amazing ginormous drawers where I fit everything. And the knobs are by Firm Living. They're these really cute little brass mushrooms. And I just felt like they looked like, I don't know, a little piece of Love AJ jewelry. Then I have these amazing ginormous armoires, which you can see here. So I have all my clothes, I can stack all my shoes. So I've got two sides, which is great because I have a lot of clothes. And moving to Mandy's jewel box is hard because this place is really small. So I had to edit down what I wear, but it was good for me anyways. This is my bed. I got a custom bed made with Community Manufacturing. They're great because you can pick all of your fabrics. You can pick the exact type of bed that you want. So I just went with like a traditional beige boucle. All of the bedding is parachute. I did a little mix of beige and there's sage. And I think obviously tying in the green was necessary. Side tables are Restoration Hardware. I had lighter beige ones, but I just felt like I needed to tie in like a darker wood to match the built-in. And then the lamps are so sick. These are Soho Home, and it's this amazing big chunky blue marble ridged base. I think it's just really gorgeous and a nice mix of like blues and greens and beiges, and I think it ties in well with the darker tone of the wood. And then this piece next to my bed, this is actually one of the nicest gifts I've ever been given. My sister got me this. This is an original print from Alexander McQueen's designer that did all of his skulls. In like 2001, he started making all this skull jewelry, and I was obsessed with it. So my sister got me an original print from the artist that actually designed the skulls. So yeah, I love it in my bedroom, and I think the pink is kind of fun playing against the beige and the blue. And the rug in the room, no surprise guys, it's Etsy. This is another one from the exact same dealer. I got the red rug in the living room. He just has such amazing stuff. And once again, I needed like a really big area rug, and I didn't want to spend that much money, so it was perfect. It's like a vintage Turkish rug. And now that you've seen my bedroom, I'm going to take you to the next part of my oasis, which is the backyard. Curating the backyard to make sure it felt like my little oasis was so important. It had a nice amount of space to do little fire pit, outdoor seating, and it has the cutest miniature pool. It's like a pool slash jacuzzi. So I actually did checkered tile all throughout the backyard. And I just think it really, really makes the space look so elevated. And then I went crazy on the landscaping. I was like, let's make it feel like Tulum meets Montecito. So there's lots of lavender, olive trees mixed in with giant palm fronds. I think it's a really special mix of the two kinds of plants. The space is small, but I wanted to make sure I really utilized all the areas of it. This side has the pool slash jacuzzi, It's small, but it heats up so fast. I love using it as a jacuzzi. I put 2 chaises here, so it really did feel like we're at a hotel. I actually lay out here all the time with my laptop and my umbrella, just doing some work when it's really hot during summer. And I was mentioning before, I wanted the landscaping to feel kind of like Montecito meets Tulum, and I feel like we really nailed it back here. We've got some olive trees, which are very Montecito, but then we also have these gorgeous palm fronds, which are very Tulum. And then you can see throughout all the landscaping, I've got pops of purple, pops of yellow. I think it's really nice to have a little bit of color. In the corner, you can see my giant candles. I had these at my old house, except it's been getting so hot, they're kind of melting a little bit, but I just think these are really cool to flank the pool as like a little art piece. And then I had extra Calcutta viola. You guys are probably like, how much marble did this girl buy? But I had my marble fabricator make a top for this little dark bronze side table. This is the same bronze as all the hardware inside, so it really ties it all in. The house came with this really cute mini guest house garage, so I tried to convert it into my mini gym. So I have a treadmill in here, and then the best part, I actually shouldn't tell you guys because now people are going to try to come over all the time, but I put a sauna back here, and I seriously use that thing like 4 to 5 days a week. It's the best. So this is like my health and wellness little mini guest house. Besides hanging out outside by myself all the time, I love to have friends over, pop in the pool, especially when it's super hot. This is the perfect pregame spot if we're going to dinner down the street to Craig's or Chiconi's. Everyone will come here first. We'll have tequilas and just hang out by the fire pit. It is just the best, coziest outdoor spot. I had a vision where I was like, oh, I want to have a dining table. Then I was like, I don't really cook. So this is just perfect. I have a big couch. This whole outdoor living setup is CB2. And then I just put a really nice fire pit out here. During summer months, this is where everyone is. And I wanted to do a mirror outside. I always saw that at people's houses, and I just thought that was so cute. So this is a Burke Decor mirror. It's also not for outdoors, so we'll see how long this lasts, but I think it's really pretty. I like how it fills up the wall space, especially when you're sitting here. It just makes the backyard feel so much bigger. What I love the most about my home has to be the front window. So when I was first doing renovations, there was no front window, and I didn't even know it was possible. But I talked to my neighbor, and he told me that my house used to be all glass. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, your whole house was glass, but the last owner changed it and drywalled everything. So I asked my contractor, and he was like, we'll open a wall and check it out and see if we can do it. And lo and behold, we were able to put a gorgeous giant glass window right in the front of the house. So it really accents that Australian gum tree that I love. It also creates the most amazing light. And then I made this really lush landscaping moment in the front with all these pots. So when you're in the living room, you almost feel like you're outside, and I love that the most. So when I first got the house, it was actually white, which was fine, but I just felt like painting it green could really add some character to it. So this was the second green color we landed on. If you followed me on Instagram, you saw that I did a poll and I like totally picked the wrong color, painted the whole house this like key lime green. Was not it. So we switched and did this darker green, and I think it's so much better. It really also looks great with the black door. So I love how it turned out. This is the beautiful gum tree that I love. This is what you see through the window. I added some little fancy lights. Those are from Etsy as well. You know I love Etsy. And then I wanted this whole front just to be super lush, super green. So I've started collecting pots. I've had pots in my last few places, so I keep adding more. And yeah, I just have fun going to Rolling Greens and like picking out different plants, and I really love how all of this turned out. Home means comfort, cashmere, and calm. When I'm home, I want to feel like I'm just in my safe place. I feel like I can be relaxed. My home is now the place that I work as well, so it's really important for me that I have different areas where I can kind of change my mindset. Like my bedroom is where I relax and watch TV. My office is where I work. My backyard is where I hang with friends and entertain. So just making sure I just always feel calm, happy, and relaxed at my home is so important to me.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Maya.
I'm Dustin. Welcome to our home in Los Angeles.
Come on in. We'll show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I am Maya Brenner, and I am a jewelry designer.
I'm Dustin Lancaster, and I'm a restaurateur and hotelier.
And welcome to our home in Silver Lake, California. We had only been living together for about a year, and we were renting in the Los Feliz area. And our house was actually robbed, and it was such a terrible, invasive feeling. We were already looking for a place to buy, but that really sped up the process in terms of what we wanted to find and move to.
We looked at dozens and dozens of places all over the east side. We knew we wanted to sort of be in the Silver Lake, Los Feliz neighborhood, and we looked and looked and looked, and then our broker called us one day and said, there's this house that has been in escrow for several months and it just fell out today. Do you want it? And we raced over here and we walked down the driveway, and we didn't even come to the house. We walked outside and kind of went down to the pool area. And as soon as it was like the space, the exterior space and everything. And then when we came inside, we did a quick tour. It was very 80s, kind of pretty bad.
A lot of work.
Pretty bad inside.
But you were the one who, because he
I can do this.
redone so many, restaurants and bars. He's
that's what I do.
I can do this.
So I was like, this is it. I think we were pretty quick. We walked out and we called the broker and we said, make an offer now. I think we were the very first people to make an offer right after it fell out of escrow. And we wrote a letter.
Yeah, I had 2 kids at the time who were 5 and 8. I had gone through a divorce. I had moved them a few times because we were renting each time, and we kept having to move. And so for me, I just felt like I wanted a place to call home. We were blending our lives, and this was going to be a big step for us. And I think I just poured all of that emotion into the letter, and it worked.
We got it.
I was married before, I was going through divorce, I was a 42-year-old single mom and didn't know what that meant in Los Angeles for the dating pool. And I went out to dinner with a good friend of mine, Claire Vivier, who's a handbag designer, and we had done a sample sale together. This was 12 years ago. And we went to dinner at Dustin's restaurant, and he came over, he knew Claire.
At Eleni Oyster Bar in Silver Lake.
Yep, he had been a bartender before in the neighborhood and had known Claire for years, and he came over and we said hello, and we remembered that we had had a conversation 2 years prior that we both remembered.
At another one of my places, another one of my bars.
Yeah, and there was definite sparks. And so I went back in a few weeks later and we had another conversation, and it was just an instant connection. We couldn't really fight it, even though on paper we didn't make any sense. I was 42, he was 32. I had 2 young kids. He didn't have kids. His schedule was very, late at night, bar, restaurant hours. I got up early with my kids for school. Everyone kind of thought we were crazy. He was supposed to be my rebound, after my divorce, but we both kind of say it was the closest thing to love at first sight that we've ever experienced. Welcome to the main living area of our home. We don't have a formal entryway. You just kind of walk in the door and bam.
Hits you right off the bat.
You're here. But we kind of call this the
sitting room,
living
room.
room. Again, this is kind of our eclectic mix of stuff. This couch I have had for, probably 15 years. It's survived 3 kids. This fabric is actually Sunbrella fabric, which I thought was really smart when I first had it made, and it has withstood the test of time. I've redone these cushions with this kind of denim. I kind of liked that boho vibe, and then I added some fun, more colorful cushions to break it up. These are from a really nice design house in LA called Decor.
These we picked up in Palm Springs. We were on a little getaway, and we went into a vintage shop, and we just loved these. That artwork is the very first piece of art we bought together, I think, right? We were, for this home at least.
Yeah, we were downtown at a really unique store, and we both were immediately drawn to it. The scale, the color, we loved it. It was like our first investment piece together.
Yeah. If you follow me this way, I'll show you to my specialty, the bar area. We went and picked out a really, really beautiful piece of marble, and Maya was really drawn to the sort of this pinkish hue with these purple veins. And when we tried to get a paint, we went through about 3 or 4 paint swatches to get the right paint. And you know, it's just when you're hosting and entertaining, you got to have a nice bar set up where people, you know, can make themselves at home and pour themselves a drink. And then as you go up, you just see the things from our travels, from Portugal. Maya, I don't even know where you got these seashells, but there's Jack when he was a baby, and a lot of our book collection, and Sadie up there. Yeah, this takes you on a little tour and inventory of our life here.
So I'm going to jump in here because we love to host people. Dustin is a wine expert, so he's got a lot of special bottles that he keeps
vintage.
In here. I don't touch them without asking him, because I sometimes, if like a friend comes over, I would pull out like a really special one.
Yeah, like if you like open some of like these 1970, let's see.
Oh, did you get me a bottle?
Yeah, that was a birthday year bottle, 1968. This is a 1980. This is my birth year, BV. These are some really quite pricey wines, so you can't just jump in here and go at them. But cocktail wise, Maya is a big Aperol Spritz fan. We do that a lot.
Yeah, I love a vodka martini. East Side is my favorite, so sometimes we'll have that set up. And if you don't know what an East Side martini is, it is vodka, lime, cucumber, mint, and a little splash of simple syrup.
She has to tell the servers at the restaurant that a lot. She's like, they can make it,
I'm sure. It's so good. Look it up. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And then in terms of like what this used to be, this was a really, really weird setup. So the door to the bathroom that I'm about to show you was actually here.
Not here.
Not there, here. And so this was just like a little step into the bathroom. And so you walked through the door here.
There was a shower.
And I'm going to take you into the bathroom to show you. So you walked in this way, and this corner was actually a plastic shower. This was where the shampoo went. You can see that. So we completely redid this bathroom. I love this wallpaper. It just feels like it's a vibe as soon as you walk in. It reminds me almost like Beverly Hills Hotel-ish, like you're on vacation. I love shells. So everywhere we go, we collect all kinds of shells. I've thrown some crystals in here, but shells is something I've done with like all of my kids on beach vacations, and it's really a nice thing to bring back for memories. A lot of this is all original, but we updated the sink and the toilet, and you know, this is just fun also. Little eclectic pieces that I love. I thought the black toilet was a nice piece to kind of make it disappear a little bit in the room. And then the floors were originally the same wood as the rest of the house. But again, we just kind of wanted an instant vibe when you walked into this guest bathroom. And so we painted the floors in here. But yeah, people love this bathroom, and it's just kind of like a fun take on, because this room is so light and then this room is kind of like dark and vibey, which I love.
We have a 7-year-old, so when you have kids, you have to have toys, and instead of having your toys strewn about your entire space, we actually bought this Amsterdam Modern. This is a I believe it's a Danish gym, almost like a pommel horse piece. And so this is where we keep all the toys and art projects and games. There's a Claire Vivier bag. Books, just so that, they're out of sight, but he can easily access them. Super fun, easy trick for hiding your kids' toys and not keeping them in the middle of your space. This is actually a little piece of history from a hotel I did several years ago in the Arts District in downtown. This chair was designed by Sally Breer, who is an Architectural Digest 100 designer. She's super, super talented. I've worked with her on 2 hotels and a French bistro I have in Chinatown called Oriel. She's a really, really talented designer. And this wallpaper is leftover wallpaper. If you get in there, it's a duck, sort of this like very vintage duck hunting vibe. We had extra from this hotel that I did, and so I brought it, and this column had to stay. Even when we were opening the kitchen here, the contractor said, you can't take this out. And so instead of it just being a boring white column, we wrapped it with vintage wallpaper to just give it a sort of a funky, fun,
Yeah, I love this wallpaper. So if you can imagine, the wall extended all the way out here. Mm-hmm. So the kitchen wall went to here, and then
it kept going.
Yeah, and then it also came. There was like an island that came from here all the way to here. That was wood and very old and just not very practical.
Yeah, it was part of that 80s, very 80s tile, backsplash, old.
Yeah. We did the most work.
Yeah, we
gutted the kitchen.
Yeah, none of this was here.
Took it all out. And we basically worked with IKEA to design all of the internal
guts
parts. They're so good at, the drawers and that light up, and they're just really, really smart about kitchens, but we didn't love the fronts of the cabinets.
So there was a company.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot now. Back then when we were doing this house, 10 years ago, there wasn't as many. This color is actually not the original color. The original color was like a light blue. And we liked it for a while, but I don't know, after like 5 to 7 years,
we want to change.
Yeah, we wanted to go darker, and we immediately agreed on this color.
Yeah, we really, really wanted an open kitchen, an open floor plan, a big island that people gather around. I mean, we spend so much time hanging out in here with the kids and with friends. It seems to be the place that everyone congregates, in a lot of houses. But
these shelves we originally had. I loved the idea of having some open shelving. These are from
Room and Board.
Room and Board, and I loved the dark wood. Originally, it was on a plaster wall, and we lived like that for a long time, but it was always my dream to tile this kitchen. And I dreamed and I dreamed and I dreamed, and finally, we just did this like 6 months ago. I loved this tile from Clay. It looks like sequins to me almost, the color and the shimmer, and also the fact that they're so small. These are the 2 by 2 inch, and the way that they install it is without grout. It's like a very Moroccan, old vintage, European farmhouse kind of vibe. And this I love it. I love the way it turned out. We had one guy in the kitchen working for weeks and
It
weeks
was
and
like
weeks.
almost 3 weeks.
It's a very slow process, but worth it. I love the way it turned out. I think it just elevates the entire kitchen. It's like the first thing you see when you walk in. Different times of day, the light hits it, and it's
almost iridescent.
Yeah, I call it like jewelry for the wall, which is, perfect for me because that's my thing. But yeah, it really changed the whole feel of the kitchen for me. Again, I love to like add a little boho. My friend had a moving sale.
Yeah.
I just like ran over there and like bought all of her rugs because I just feel like a rug adds so much to a space, especially one like this, which is really bright and colorful. It just makes like this space pop. You can tell right away that it's, there's something more going on than just, a regular kitchen. Again, like the boho, colorful, whimsical, kind of fun vibe that I want my house to have. I just feel like this is perfect for it. And normally I wouldn't put, such a nice rug in the kitchen, but because it was used and it was a good price, I feel like it works.
And now if you want to follow us, we'll take you over here to the dining room. As soon as we got inside the house, the kitchen was closed off. There was 2 decks. There was no light coming in the front. There was like an old kind of bookshelf library. It just felt lots of bad tile from the 80s, bathrooms, blue tile, old showers. Everything was just a little dark and drab, and yeah, it definitely had not had an update in at least 30.
Yeah, the floors in our bedroom, when you walked through, they were cushiony. It was like the foundation didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was almost like trampoline. But the light, the ceilings, the skylights, everything, even with all of sort of the bad design, everything just felt really good. The energy of the house.
The bones and the soul of it were there. But there was a problem in that we had 2 kids, and this was actually a 2-bedroom house, and then they had a rumpus room downstairs, which was literally permitted as a rumpus room. And it was not attached. So you had to go around the house and walk downstairs to enter a separate doorway. So we knew in order to give our oldest son a room, we had to include it. So that was actually the most construction we had to do, was turn a porch into a stairwell that was interior that would connect his room to the actual house.
So the home is very eclectic. I think that comes from both of us. I'm from Berkeley, California. He's from Oklahoma. We have different upbringings, different kind of styles, but it comes together in a really beautiful mix of high, low, country, hippie.
Yeah.
We both love vintage. We both love really unique finds. Every time we travel, we bring something home, a piece of art, a vase.
We're both very high-low, right? So there's some like very nice designer furniture and pieces and artwork, but then this is kind of a ranch house style architecture. And so there is a bit of almost a Southwestern vibe and flair to it. So yeah, we definitely sort of melded several designs.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Oklahoma. I moved out here in the late 90s to go to art school at Cal Arts. Graduated, moved to Los Feliz immediately, loved the east side of LA. I started working at a really cool French restaurant called Cafe Stella. It's been here for 30 years. And didn't really want to be in the restaurant industry, didn't know much about it, but I started bartending there and worked my way up to bar manager and learned how to do a sort of ordering and inventory and all of this stuff. And I thought after a few years there, wow, I think I could maybe to do this. So I actually took a UCLA extension class in developing a business plan, and I came out of it and I went to two of my buddies and I said, I think we should open this bar. And we opened up Covell 15 years ago, and it was kind of an instant hit. And so then we opened up L&E and Hermosillo, and then I just kind of would open like one or two a year for the last decade. And so now I'm about to open my 13th or 14th here in a couple weeks. And I've been very fortunate to have places that people have really responded to over the years, and I love what I do, and I think I'm fortunately pretty good at it, and so we've had a lot of fun doing these, and it's great time. What about you?
My story is windy too. It's funny that both of us came into our careers from different ones. I always loved jewelry. Like from the time I was a little girl, I would like take apart my mom's turquoise hippie jewelry, but I always thought it was a hobby and not a career. So I moved to New York City. I went to graduate school for social work. I had, a very serious job. And at night, I would make necklaces to calm my nerves from like the stress of the pressure of this job. And I started getting stopped on the street, like, oh, who made your necklace? And I'd be like very shy and embarrassed, like, oh, I did. And a store actually asked me to make some jewelry for them, and I did. And then another store, and I still had my full-time job, but I was doing both. And then I just decided that I really, really loved jewelry more than the career that I had chosen. And fortunately or unfortunately, as a social worker in the 90s in New York City, I wasn't making that much money. So in terms of how many necklaces I had to sell to make up for my social work salary, it wasn't that much. And I got a small loan from my grandmother of $3,000, and I quit my job. And the rest is her story.
So here we are in our dining room, which is, again, just off the kitchen, which makes it super easy for hosting, getting plates, stuff out. This used to have track lighting, with the cans. And so we got rid of those, and I found a very sort of modern European fixture that online that I really loved, and I sort of just got a nice kind of pop of color there.
I love this color. It's so unique. It's like a rust brown, but just kind of blends. I didn't want something that like took over the space because it's not a huge space. So this table I've had for a long time. I brought this into the relationship. I love that it's like the size solid and heavy industrial.
It takes like 3 or 4 guys to move it because this is solid concrete. This is solid steel, and then this is solid concrete.
Yeah, it's kind of different than normally like what I would be drawn to, but I softened it with these really cool like cane chairs that are both light in color and also like light in design that I love. They're really comfortable, which was important to me. And then I threw in this other style just also kind of for fun, just to make them so that it wasn't like too matchy. And we spend a lot of time at this table, obviously. Yeah. And again, this table is very sort of industrial and heavy, but I love adding some color and feminine touches. I'm very into crystals, just, being from Berkeley, it's in my blood. And so this is also just like a fun thing for our son. He loves to look at them and touch them and play with them. These are my favorite candles from Flamingo Estates. It smells like heirloom tomato. I burn these all the time. This is another example of just like a fun thing that I saw on vacation and I just loved. I'm just like drawn to the iridescent and the rainbow. If you come over here, this is actually a print from my grandfather. His name was Brener, and he was a sculptor in Paris. It is a print of like a replica of an outdoor sculpture that he made. So if you look at the scale and the size of this is a person, and then this is the sculpture, and this is a close-up of one of the panels. And it's really special to me. He lived in Paris my whole life. I wasn't that close with him, but I feel a connection just in terms of like an artist, designer. I feel like maybe some of that was passed on to me. But there's a number of pieces of his throughout the house that I'll point out. I'm a big like Etsy shopper, and I love things that feel old school or vintage or handmade. And so I found this, Turned Down for What, which I just thought was so funny because it's like a rap song, but on like an old embroider piece. And I like things like that just again are just kind of different, whimsical, fun pieces that you wouldn't expect, like the unexpected. So when we have people over, we usually sort of hang out in here initially.
Spread
We'll
on both
always
sides.
have cheese. I love cheese. Gotta have cheese. So like cheese and charcuterie, olives, little nibbles, some drinks.
Lots of wine throughout over here on the bar.
I'm not the best cook. I can make, some simple things. So usually we'll either bring in something from one of Justin's restaurants or we'll order in. And that way it's not so stressful. You have time to actually like hang out with your guests and not, have to worry about it too much.
We love a good champagne and caviar New Year's. It's kind of a tradition. We have a lot of people over, do lots of caviar and champagne.
Yeah, special occasions.
I want to show you one other feature that we added to the house. This was just a bookshelf, and we really love the indoor-outdoor flow. And so we installed these sliding doors on both sides so that you can open these up really easy, and it really makes it feel so nice and warm and inviting to do this here. And it's like, Southern California, we are, and it's kind of like this year round. And you get this beautiful indoor-outdoor, and you can do it on both sides. And it really is just the most comfortable, flow you can imagine.
So we're gonna come into more of like the family TV room. We also do spend a lot of time in here. We have the Togo sofa, which low to the ground, easy for the little kids. Not so easy for our moms to get
it's very low.
From. The pillows are Sarah Sherman Samuel. I love her like fun fabrics. She actually redesigned my office downtown before I moved, and I was really sad to have to leave that space during COVID because I love her style and styling. This is a chair I've had for a long time. This was vintage, and then I recovered it with this Christian Dior like embroidered fabric that I love. I love embroidery. I love things that have texture and color. This is our pizza table. It's really, really special because obviously it's called pizza because
everyone pulls it to them,
move them around, but I love this piece, and this is like one of the pieces that when people come over, they're really interested in. And it's just like, again, withstood a lot of kids and a lot of eating and popcorn and stuff out here.
The artwork, that was a gift. You bought me this Slim Aarons, very, very famous Slim Aarons photo. It was one of my favorite photographers for a birthday or Christmas, I can't remember, many years ago. And this one we loved. We bought this together in Santa Fe, New Mexico. very, I mean, it's so hard to see the detail. You'd have to zoom in so much, but we love this sort of massive print for such a small detail of a cowboy riding a bucking bronco there, but it's a really cool piece. Maya knows I had wanted this chandelier. I had been trying to get this chandelier for years, and it's a really kind of famous Italian designer from the 60s, and I finally got it last year, earlier this year, and it's a super fun piece. Really, I think helps tie the room together.
Because again, there was track lighting.
Yeah, there's track lighting in here.
You really
previously.
didn't like.
Not my style, not my thing. I actually am quite a big fan of pink. I had an office that was pink many years ago, but we definitely wanted to, I don't know, give it a little bit of a pop, true accent wall. So we went with just a very light pink. And you can only sort of see the difference when you look in the corner, because when you're staring at it straight on, it kind of just almost blends
you
in.
Almost don't.
Yeah, but when you
don't
see it in the corners where it changes from the white.
And then if you move up here, you can see we also did some wallpaper up here. Again, it was just a white area that we also felt could use just like a fun pop of something. We didn't want it to be too much, and so we found this wallpaper and just loved it. And we feel like it just gives like the right amount of pop. This is a scarf that I found, and I don't really like wear scarves like this, but I thought how beautiful it was. I don't know, I was drawn to it for some reason, and I never would have worn it as a scarf, but I loved the idea of framing it and having it be like a bold piece in the room. And again, I love the colors. I love that it looks vintage. It isn't necessarily. And then this is my favorite picture of our family, the kids and us. And I mean, Otis just looks so cute, standing there. He kind of just like brought all of us together. He's just such a joy.
And over here on the other wall, we have the fireplace and the TV. This was brick. This was a brick color that we just kind of felt was a little boring. So as original mantle and brick, we painted this white first.
Yeah, we did.
And it was all white. And then that lived like that for a few years. And then we went with this, it's actually called soot, ironically, S-O-O-T. And we really think that it's just a kind of a fun thing. And then it really gets a nice pop with this brass. I'm not sure, I've had this, people love this, they talk about it all the time. I've had it for years, and I'm not sure its origin except that it is vintage. But it's very cool, sort of peacocky Asian motif. And here's another one of your grandfather's pieces.
He actually died, and a lot of his estate was sort of spread out. So I have actually gone online and tried to find some of his pieces. And so I bought this on eBay. All of the crystals are mine. I'm just very much drawn to them. The stained glass was a gift from Dustin one Christmas. Again, I love handmade things that feel special. I think we bought these.
Also in Santa Fe.
Yeah, in Santa Fe. Again, Dustin and I are just very much drawn to the same art pieces. It's kind of wild that our tastes are so similar.
Crystals over here.
More crystals. I love this piece. This is taken by a friend who we went to school with, and he is an underwater photographer, and so he took pictures of all the kids in Jack's class, and I got this one blown up and framed, and it's super special to me. We've got a record player, which is fun. More shells. always collecting shells. And then if you come over here, I have sort of the biggest crystals that I own, you know, all together. And again, these are just pieces that I'm drawn to. This was a gift from Dustin one Christmas, and that kind of started the whole collection. And the kids know, you know, to be careful with them, mama's crystals. So I would say that my approach to decorating is very similar to my approach to designing jewelry. I want everything to be approachable. When I design jewelry, I want there to be a versatility, a comfortability. The design that I'm most known for is our asymmetrical letter necklace. It's personalized, and it starts with a position on the side of your neck that's asymmetrical and kind of unexpected and whimsical and different. And I think that's also what I'm looking for when I'm designing my home. I want things to feel unique, personal, something that is versatile and wearable, approachable. I don't want anything to feel too fancy that you can't touch it, that you can't use it. And, you know, again, like we have kids, we cannot have a home that you cannot get messy in. And the jewelry that I design is the same. It's meant to be always worn, never taken off, to live in. And I think that this house is also very livable.
Very similar to our dining room, we have some more indoor-outdoor flow. So we will give you a shot of our outdoor porch. You can really feel the light and airy vibes out here. We're sort of elevated, perched in the Silver Lake Hills. Our oldest daughter comes out here every morning and has breakfast right here, sort of overlooking the pool and our beautiful yard. We have a chicken coop down here, basketball court, trampoline. And as we said earlier, this was the very first thing. We walked down steps over there, and this was what hooked us on this house. We immediately were taken in as soon as we saw this outdoor area. And if you want, we can take a trip downstairs. This used to be stucco, and about 4 years ago, we fell in love with an idea we had seen online with this redwood clad siding. And so we hired a team to wrap our entire house with this redwood. And I mean, it really changed the entire feel of the outside exterior of the house. And especially when this is the original natural sort of rock, and these two play together so nice. And you can, if you get a shot up there of the patio, I mean, it really is such a warm vibe of the whole house. So much greenery. Maya hired a really great team of landscapers who came in and sort of reworked. There was a lot to begin with, but now we have an actual Shangri-La here.
There's a lot of hardscaping, and I wanted to break up a lot of the brick with green, and we worked together to just do a really California natural vibe that would just blend, not too fancy, no flowers or roses or anything like that, but just real natural greenery to be out here. This is interesting because there was a lot of bamboo in
sort
the
of
backyard.
Like how that's back there.
And this entire area was a huge thing of bamboo that we wanted taken out. And as soon as we lifted it, there was a
hole. There's a pit.
Gaping hole. And we had an above ground trampoline at our rental house. And we kind of looked at each other and thought, let's do an indoor trampoline. We had seen this somewhere before.
This is a hit. The in-ground trampoline is quite a hit.
Again, you can see why now all of Otis's friends want to come over here.
And behind you we have a chicken coop. We have 2 chickens. We had some food, but this is nice. We get eggs. We have more eggs. We never buy eggs. They each lay one about a day, one every other day. So plenty plenty of chickens. There's 2 chickens. This one's Cookie because Otis's favorite cookie is an Oreo cookie, and this kind of looks like an Oreo. And then there's a red chicken in there named Basket. Again, when you let 4-year-olds, I think he was 4 at the time we got him, name chickens, those are the names you get.
Over here, we have this woven hammock. This is Heather Taylor for West Elm. She's a friend of mine. I love supporting friends and collaborations. And I love that it looks like, you know, you could be on like vacation in Tulum. I love crochet items like this. I don't get to sit here very often because of work and kids, but you know, someday. I really wanted a fountain.
Water piece, a water feature.
Yeah.
This is from Restoration Hardware, but just that sound it helps sort of give you some tranquil vibes. And probably the biggest highlight or the most used part of our outdoor area would be our pool. The pool was actually here, so when we came down these steps and saw us, we were like, wow, that's a big pool. It was also, I think it was built in the 60s. It was all the original coping and inside, so we actually did drain it, and we added a hot tub and new steps and shelving and a Baja shelf to make it just a lot more, you know, current.
The color was really important to us too. We took a lot of time trying to find this like Bermuda lagoon. We wanted it to be dark. Obviously the original one was
white,
very light,
like
plaster.
white plaster.
And we wanted to like deepen the color.
And so we actually had a pool guy say that we could go visit one of his past clients to see this color that we liked. As we drove to their house, they were luckily in Silver Lake, and we drove over to their house and we're like, hey, thanks for letting us take a look at your pool.
See your pool
we took a look at their pool and we were like, that's it, that's the color we want. And so we dove in. Here's a story that we have not been able to confirm or deny, but was told to us by the broker when we bought this house, that you never see pools this big. And this was here, this sort of built-in seating area and kind of picnic area. And so this is all original brick in here. And while we're going back in history, we were also told that our house was the first document on record with LA is that it was a hunting lodge in 1910, when all of these hills were just hills and no homes, and this was the very first hunting lodge over here in Silver Lake that they would use to hunt deer.
I would say for decorating, we both have
we
such
bring
a
something.
hand in it. Fortunately, we really agree on almost everything.
Well,
I can't really think of something that we fought about doing this house. He has really, really good taste for a man. I always joke that, like, a lot of times when you move in with a guy, he brings like his, you know, black lacquer TV stand. And Dustin had some like really, really great pieces as like a young single guy, which was so surprising.
Yeah, we both love like wallpaper and, you know, these are like reupholstered block shop textile, you know, vintage chairs, vintage.
Yeah, we love like European feel, paint colors. We love Faro and Ball. Yeah, we love vintage mixed with some sleek stuff.
Yeah, it's a collaboration, for sure.
For sure.
There's no one person that makes the executive decision.
Like we said earlier, when we moved in, it was a 2-bedroom and we had 2 kids and us. So we had to, you know, create the bedroom for my older son, and then since then we've also had another child.
Otis was born 7 years ago.
Yeah, so we had to build another room, and so it's really just a lovely place to live.
Grow with us and expand, and we have a guest house on the other side of the property for when the grandmas visit or other people in town. And it's we host a lot of parties with you know, we have a ton of pool parties in the summer. It's got a little, you know, bar and barbecue setup down there, and so it's a good indoor,
like a
outdoor flow. Yeah. And now we're going to take you into the guest house. So this was just a shed, like literally just a shed. And we turned it into this.
It had no windows, no bathroom. It was cut off here, so it was just a square. And I can't believe we actually had people sleep out here.
Before it was this?
In a windowless, bathroomless.
Yeah, I think they used it as a tool shed and we turned it into a guest house. So yeah, as you said, it was a rectangle with no light, no windows, maybe one little thing. And we had a crew come in and pitch the roof, add this extension, create this tiny little nook. You have here, again, always we love the wallpaper, vintage sconces. We got it, is that place called L7? Yeah, on Melrose.
The couch, what's it?
Chesterfield. Chesterfield sofa. We bought it on Craigslist.
Yeah. Yep.
This is again Block Shop Textiles. We love their work.
Have to have the massage
chair.
Massage chair.
It's a hit. People love. We've had parties before, and we'll lose a guest for a little while. We'll come in here and find them sitting in the massage chair
it's a good
for the last 30 minutes. This is actually Rejuvenation, but Rejuvenation has a vintage collection, and this was partly, so there's just one-off vintage collection, and this was, I don't know, we felt kind of like spaceship orbital, and we loved it for sort of this pine wood ceiling.
And this was an interesting choice for us. We wouldn't normally carpet, like wall-to-wall carpet, but we wanted the room to feel
a little warm,
almost like a hotel room studio. And we loved this color. And again, we used the same window person as inside for some of the other details. Again, we wanted it to feel a little special, European.
And then lastly, we have the bathroom that we fully installed, restoration hardware, sink vanity, and then we tiled and a little custom tile job with a chevron pattern.
And that's it for the guest house. You're welcome to come stay anytime.
And now I'll let Maya show you the bedroom.
All right, now I'm going to show you our primary bedroom. We didn't do too much work to this space. We added the wood siding and painted it white just to kind of break up some of the wall space. This is a vintage bench that I had recovered in silk stripe. It's kind of been in every different room in our house, including this one. This is a collection of just everything that kind of represents me. The color, the shells, the crystals, each of these pieces collected either on vacation or, picked up somewhere special. My mom actually made this from driftwood. She is super creative and loves to craft. The watercolors are my best friend from 6th grade. Her sister made those and I loved them. The stitching is from a friend of mine who makes these really clever vintage feeling things, but with really amazing modern day sayings. And I loved that piece. So our bed, the linens are a mix of Parachute, Home, and Moro soft goods. The room tends to be a little dark, so I love using light linens. Dustin and I share a closet, and that transition, we couldn't really have a door here just because of where it's set up. But we didn't want it wide open, so we found these like saloon doors on Etsy, which I thought were kind of fun. So follow me into the closet. So originally the closet ended here. And obviously this was not enough space for a fashionista like myself. So we had a little extra space behind the house. So we actually built this room, and I had California closets come in, and we designed it together. So shoes, I love denim, obviously, bags, hats. My grandmother used to say that I loved anything that started with an A dress, a hat, a bag, and she was right. Just like with jewels, I love a little sparkle. So I love a sequin dress. I just wore this to the Sphere in Vegas. It was super fun and amazing. And I don't really wear a lot of heels or fancy shoes, but I do have these Gucci gold shoes, and I feel like they're just the perfect shoe for me. They're not too high, they're comfortable, and gold, of course, for me. Who doesn't love gold? So coming from the closet, I'm going to take you right into our primary bathroom. We completely redid this and gutted it, added the shower. The tub is from Signature Hardware. The vanity is custom. We did the tile not in any kind of pattern. We wanted it to feel random, which it is. And then this area over here is my jewelry. I kind of have jewelry everywhere, all over. So obviously I'm a jewelry designer. I have a lot of jewelry. I keep a lot at my office, but this is my collection that I personally sort of rotate each day. This is a great organizer we sell on our website. Bracelets, rings, necklaces. I have a few necks for display. These are travel cases. I always travel with these, and so I keep some jewels in there and little trinkets and trays. And each thing is just, again, like kind of a special piece that I've picked up here and there. The most special pieces to me right now are my crystal collaboration. This is called the Retreat necklace, and I designed this with a good friend, Abigail Spencer, and we're both really into crystals. And they come in different colors, and then each crystal has a different property that is meaningful or has like a connection to the person wearing it. And I just feel such a connection to it. This one's called In Flow, and I've been wearing this one a lot, and I use it as kind of like a touchstone throughout the day to just remind me to breathe and calm. She came up with a really fun tagline that says, a crystal necklace so every day can be your retreat, and then we call it a piece to protect your peace. Okay, and now, last but not least, my very favorite room in the entire house. I call it my sanctuary. And this room initially did not exist in the house. If you were standing here, you would have been outside in the front of our house. But when Otis was born, we didn't have a bedroom for him. So this was initially built as a nursery. It was the perfect size for him, crib, changing table, but obviously it was off of our bedroom, so not ideal once he started getting older. So when our oldest son went to college, we kind of rotated everybody's rooms. And then this was kind of like a home office / hangout room, but didn't really have any special aspects to it. And so I came up with this idea to cover the entire room with fabric after seeing this at a boutique in Paris. And I just fell in love with it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And so I set about trying to find somebody who could help me bring this vision to life. And I found Joanna Williams in LA. She has a store, and she works with lots of fabrics and different types of materials. And she was super excited to work with me. And so we picked out this fabric. It's from Schumacher. And it just has just this kind of like beaded, woven design that I thought was perfect. I didn't want too small of a repeat pattern. And I wanted it to feel like a cocoon. So if you close these curtains, you're just surrounded. I needed to pick a fabric that I was never going to tire of, and this is it. And I basically covered as much as I could in this fabric, including these sconces that were from West Elm. They were just white originally. The chandelier is from Rejuvenation. Same with the table and the pillows. They worked with me a bit on the room, and I love, again, it just feels like jewelry for the home with the gold accents. The daybed was actually given to me. A friend was getting rid of it. It didn't work in her modern home, so I grabbed it and covered it with the fabric as well. These stools I had and then just recovered them. And I spend a lot of time in here. I like to read, talk to my friends on the phone, or hang out with them in person. I was very purposeful with not putting a desk in here. I didn't want it to feel like a home office. I never call it a home office. I usually just refer to it as my sanctuary. Again, kind of back to the high-low. I wanted an interesting bookcase, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on it. This is from Wayfair, and every piece in here is special to me. Obviously, family pictures. I've just always loved this sculpture of a woman just kind of like giving thanks to the world. Shells, definitely a theme. This, I walked into a store when I was pregnant with Otis, and I knew I was having a boy, and I don't know, I was just instantly drawn to it. And then I thought, wow, it really represents like me and Dustin and our baby boy. And I've just loved that piece. It's a picture of my grandmother, who I mentioned earlier. She was quite a woman, a fashionista, and she died about 10 years ago, and these are actually her ashes, some of them, and I looked really hard to find something that would be beautiful and kind of do this amazing woman justice, and I love this piece, and I love having her close. Again, crystals, shells. This is my mom. Yeah, and I love putting together little collections like this. And this bookcase, this room, this space just makes me really happy. So the word home to me means love. It means safety. It means happiness and food and gathering.
Yeah, all of those things, I think for me, it probably number one means stability. I moved around a ton when I was little, like 12 times before I was in 6th grade, moved around. And I think that you don't realize it until you're older, an adult, and it's like I want stability for not just us, but also for our kids. I think it's really important and nice to be able to have one place that you know feels like home and means that to you. So that's kind of what it means to me personally.
Yeah, and I think that we make our home very open and welcoming and inviting. We, had tweens when we moved in, and then they were teenagers, and like this was the house that all of their friends wanted to be at and hang out. And we always have, a stocked fridge and pantry and the pool, and we always really welcomed all of our kids' friends. Yeah. And now Otis, who is in 1st grade, this is also the house. Like his friends want to come and they search for bugs outside and they go swimming and they jump on the trampoline, and it's just such a nice feeling to have this be the place that all of our kids and our friends and our family like want to.
Yeah, everyone remembers, you know, you always remember your friends' houses, or maybe you had that house, but like the house that you went to when you were young, and like we want to be that house, and it's nice to be that house.
All right, Homeworthy, it's been great having you at our home, but
We gotta go. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.